Hi, friends. How's it going? Oh, let's see. There's my camera. That's right. I am in the Lego room and I'm trying something a little bit different today. I am um, going first off in the Lego room, but then secondly, I've got the camera a little bit up so that you can see the table a little bit better too. So hopefully this will work. Eventually, I might switch to like a multiple camera screen setup, but for now, this is going to have to work. I don't really know if I want to purchase a streaming service that allows for that in high quality, and I really like the camera quality of this camera. So we're going to stick with this. But anyway, before I open it, let me show you. Today we are building the Woodland Mushrooms. So this was sent to me for review, along with a couple other botanicals. I have the Cosmos and the Water Lilies. We are going to dive into this one first and see where we get. If we get through the whole thing, then we'll go ahead and open one of the other two that are smaller sets. But wanted to prioritize this one because it's such a beautiful one. And I figured it would be one that you all would be excited about too. So the question of the day is, what are your thoughts on Lego botanicals? So let me know in the chat kind of how you feel about them, how you feel about where they've gone, from where they began, if it's sets that you like or whatnot. Hello, Missy. I love that you said kind of how I feel as well, or similar to how I feel. But Botanicals theme has some of the best sets. I think that's very true. They're beautiful sets. Incredible part usage, and really interesting build techniques to create each of the flowers. So for me, I think they win when it comes to part usage in particular. We also tend to get a lot of really great recolors because of botanicals, and I love that. So that's a lot of fun. Sorry about all the rustling as we get the bags ready. Let's put these here. There we go. All right, so this comes with an interesting plate. So we got this guy in the earth green, I think is what we call this color, but that darker green color. I love this color. One instruction book, not a big surprise, no stickers, which is fun. I think we're going to get some great printed parts in this set. And let me move these out of the way so I can have the instructions here while I build. There we go. Trying to get used to streaming in this room. It's going to be a little different than I'm used to out in the kitchen or den, but I think I'm going to like it. So, but yeah, I'm going to have to get used to like, where's my my keyboard and mouse and all that kind of stuff. All right, so opens with Simple Wild Existence, talking about the botanicals and mushroom sets. It also talks about the different types of plants that we have in here. So let me show you some of those. So we have the autumn crocus, which is this purple one. We have the bracken, the green, and then we have the common bonnet, which is the minifigure hat that our friend Sean asked about. I believe it is in medium nougat, but I will let you know once I open it. We also have oyster mushrooms, golden chanterelles, fly agarics, which are the big red printed ones. And then here on this side, you see two more. Let's see here. These two. Hi, Bev. Marzipan fiber cap and collared earth star. So really fun to see the variety of mushrooms that are in these sets. Of course, today, given that it's a botanicals day, I had to wear my botanical shirt from Will Heron. I love his designs, and my wardrobe is full of them. And this is one of my favorites, to be honest. I just think it's so adorable. All right, let's see. You know what? I'm going to move this. So here's the reality of this room. I've got little trays and things like this everywhere, creating quite a mess that has to be eventually picked up. So let me find a spot for this, and that will help me with the instructions. Let's see. Let's go over here by the camera. I've been planning to dive into the building of the Disneyland Main Street, but to be honest, I really needed some rest this weekend. We've had so much going on and so much with Penny going on that it was like, this is just a time to take a break, and Memorial Day is meant to be a day of rest, right? And so let's actually honor that. And I'm glad that we did. The But yeah, I have not made any progress on it yet, which makes me a little bit sad because I am still very excited about it. So that'll have to come later, maybe tonight, but we'll see. I like the shelving unit. Thank you, Bev. So this room, I was going to flip this up to show you, but the camera's out of reach, so I can't show you yet. But I am going to do a tour of the Lego room eventually. This is the Lego room. I have the shelves behind me are meant to be curated. So this one there, where my thumb is pointing, is my Lego Masters shelf. So that has all my mini builds from Lego Masters. Just to the, whoops, I'm doing this wrong. Just here is a Marvel shelf that is in progress. The one below it is, oh my gosh, this is silly, Star Wars. And then there's a trophy back there that's actually from my work at NI. Behind me is, I'm blocking the shelf that you can see Santa sticking over right there, but that has some of the awards that I've gotten from different conventions. Above that is meant to be a beginning of a gaming shelf, and above that is the Wicked area, which is super fun and full of all the Wicked sets. So that's what I have curated so far. Above the Lego Masters one also are some different mocks that I've made, but I need to figure out and spend some time like planning and prepping camera angles in here because I curated all those shelves above, but you can't see them. So kind of misses the point. Except it's also beautiful for us and we also play with highlights. So, and we painted the wall green in here because the rest of the house is white with some navy blue here and there. And so we wanted to add some vibrant color. And I got to pick because this is my office and Lego room. And so went with a bold green, which I thought was kind of fun. And I also made sure that Lego colors work with that green and don't contrast or don't look bad with it too much. So since I knew it would be showing through the back of the frame there. So. All right, this is so fun, this first bag. It's very like standard primary earth tone type colors, but yeah, like just interesting because I don't think I've built sets lately that are this natural in color right away. All right, let's get these in a paper bag and we'll move it. Let's see, botanicals is one of the themes with excellent NPU techniques. Agreed, that was the first thing I said. Totally agree, for sure. So. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you, Stefan. Hope you're doing well as well. We are in my Lego room finally. It's probably not going to permanently stay here because I still have a lot of cleaning to do, especially like anything that you don't see on the camera lens. It has some work to be done, but I really wanted to be back in here today as the other rooms are feeling a little chaotic and I just needed a break from that. Plus, to be honest, I don't like streaming out in the areas where like Philip will walk through and such because I don't think it's fair to him to always have to be like, oh, you're on camera. I need to be quiet as I'm tiptoeing through the room or whatever. So this hopefully, I mean, he's never said anything, but yeah, still hoping that it's not like a stressful situation for him because it's his home too. So, but yes, doing well here. We've been getting Penny some new meds, not new meds, getting refills on meds, which was surprisingly more difficult than I thought it would be. I had to rush her in this morning to get to an appointment for some blood work so that they could test for kidney functioning to make sure that the meds that she's on are good and working the way they're supposed to. And it was a bit of a stressful morning. So I treated her to a pup cup, which is when you go to Starbucks and they put whipped cream in a little cup for your dog. It's one of Penny's favorite things. And she was mega balls of stress this morning. So I was too. And I thought, you know what? We both need some Starbucks. And I got Philip some as well on the way home, of course. But yeah, so other than like those type of stressful things, which it's a part of life right now, things are pretty good. I just shared, finally, thanks to your patience, for those of you in the build community, the tutorial and build challenge for this month, and I'm very excited about it. This set actually, let me look at the base. Well, kind of. Some of this set is using the techniques that we're talking about this month. So this month we are building organic bases for Lego to sit on top of. So instead of just building up from a plate like this, where you're stacking stuff on top of it, you are to kind of design something a little bit more creative using sideways build techniques and snot bricks techniques. And make some kind of smooth surfaces and things. I'm very excited to see what people come up with. And yeah, it was really fun. I was building the Shrek set for review, and it's a great set. The sculpts are so fun. I loved it so much. But as I was building it out, I thought this is a really beautiful base, and that was one of the build challenge prompts I wanted to do. So it was perfect timing to see an example that I was really excited about, especially because that style of building is something that I don't do very often. I will create characters, but often I haven't created bases for them. I've just had them standing like on the tabletop, right? Or I have built a full scene, but even if I did some sideways build techniques, I still had plates on top. So it was still like mostly a plated surface. And I just didn't feel like I had any great examples, which made me think this will be a good challenge for me too, to flex my skills and push myself to try something a little bit different as well. So I'm excited about it. If you didn't notice in the video, I'm also doing, since we're 6 months through the year, which is wild, or we will be, right? We're entering the 6th month. I am doing a giveaway for the community. So if you have already built from a previous month, you are automatically entered. However, if you build again for this month, you will get a bonus entry. And if you are brand new and haven't built yet for the build challenge, then you still have a chance to get one entry into it by building along. So very, very excited about that. And my plan is to do multiple prizes. I am using what Lego allows, they call it activity support. So it's when fan media like myself have the opportunity to request sets to use in any way. So for example, last week I built the Game Boy. So I had requested that through activity support because it was after the fact. But I also had done some sets for giveaway. And both last time and then also in other times as well. So excited to use some of my activity support sets for our build community, which is my intention all along. So very, very glad about that. Okay, this is weird. Look at this. That's so odd. So, hi, friend. My thoughts on botanicals. Love. No surprise there, Medina. I always want to call you Medina, even though your name is Hector. Just because that's the phrase, which is the same with why people always want to call me Brady. So I get it. But yes, agreed. That I absolutely love the botanical sets. I think that Lego was brilliant in introducing them when they did, because there was already a growing group of Lego fans among adults, especially pandemic related. Many of you possibly, right? And it was really the right timing, the perfect timing to introduce this, because it really brought in so many adults into the hobby, which has really boomed the company. So obviously they made a smart choice with that regard. And we'd already been building for numerous years before that, but this kind of helped level up some of the building that we were doing at home, because a lot of the sets that we were doing were minifig scale still. So I think it was, for me, it was really fun to introduce more sculpted type building techniques, which began loosely with the botanicals and then continued to grow from there. So yay, Lego, for botanicals. Thank you for this gift. We all love it so much. I feel like most Lego builders I know really enjoy them. And that said, I don't know all Lego builders, of course. So I'm curious if there's like anyone out there that really doesn't like them. It's possible for sure. So, but yeah, how's everybody's week going? And did anybody do anything fun for Memorial Day? I also thought botanicals was kind of fun to do right after Memorial Day, because typically we spend time outside around Memorial Day, and so that's a good reminder of nature and beauty and fun. So So beyond these sets, I've got some Disney ones to review, which I'm excited about. Where does this go? Oh, right here. And then I have the Fortnite sets arriving tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. So I may do Fortnite week next week because I am getting the 4 big sets and there's a lot, or the 4 sets. There's a lot to do, and so that may happen next week. We'll see. But I'm excited about them. There's some really interesting builds there. So fun. So Missy says that she did some yard work, which sometimes is fun and sometimes is not fun. What kind of yard work were you doing? Like gardening or weeds and mowing the lawn and that kind of thing? All of the above. We often do yard work around Memorial Day timeframe, and this time we didn't. Although that's not true. I planted some. Actually, no, I did. I planted some herbs in our herb garden. So we usually do them a little bit earlier in the year, but didn't get around to it right away. So I have basil and sage and thyme. No, that's not true. Basil and sage. We couldn't find the thyme that we wanted. We usually get lemon thyme. And we actually get them to try to ward off the mosquitoes. So it's less about using the herbs and cooking, although we do, and more about like helping protect us from all the bites. And lemon thyme is actually supposed to be really good for that. But we couldn't find it. So I'm trying to remember basil and sage. It's like, oregano, just because oregano. So I don't know that one's necessarily good with reducing bugs, but it's pretty and it smells good. And we use it in cooking. So that was a little bit of yard work, but over the long weekend, we also saw The Mandalorian and Grogu, which was super fun. It was very cute. Very well done. And I went to Tech Slug, so I got to see Missy and Bev and some other Tech Slug friends. I brought my Pokemon cards, Rowlet and Applin, and I brought my Disney mini habitat, where I use the Mickey ears that I used from 2 years ago, but I added a bow to make it Minnie Mouse. So that was fun to get to bring and show. And really, it was also a great opportunity to share verbally about the build challenge that I'd run. And I did a giveaway of a set too, that I got to review a couple of years ago, I think. That was a dream set that's no longer on store shelves. So that was fun to get to also provide that gift to my lug. So let's see. Missy got my shepherd hook situated. Difficult being on limestone. My new flower basket looks great, and you weeded some. That is so fun. Tell me about the shepherd's hook, because I don't know what that means. I might know what it means. Is it just like you get the hook in the ground and that's what holds the hanging basket? Maybe it's that simple, or am I missing something? Another new background. Yes, yeah. So this, JJ, this is my Lego room. So I used to stream only in here, and then this room got to be a mess, and I started streaming out in the living room and kitchen. And I'm trying to get back in here full time. So working on it. Not fully there yet. There's a lot of cleaning still to do, but it's an improvement for sure. So Philip will be traveling for work, and while he's away, I plan to really try and focus on cleaning up this room, and getting it more usable, and getting it ready to do a room tour, because I want to show you all how cool this room is and how great we have it. Like I feel really fortunate that we have this space. And people ask all the time, like, how do you sort your Lego and that kind of thing? And I just want to show it because it's easier to show, and also helps people to have that visual. So it just needs some work. It needs some love, for sure. And I need some space to like take stuff out of here, spread it out, gather it all up again, and put it back in the room. So yeah. Anyhow, happy to be in here though. Okay, so to hang the flower basket, it's your metal pole. Nice. We have 2 of those as well, and we put one outside of Philip's office just the other day. So when we were, I think I told you at the beginning of the year, our garage door broke, And so we had the cars outside of the garage with the door shut and locked, but was not usable until it got fixed or replaced, actually. And in the time while we were waiting for the door to come in and all that kind of stuff, we used the space in the garage to clean out the guest bedroom, which we didn't fully get to it being completely cleaned, but it's much better than it was. And just having that space to spread out was very, very helpful. So I want to do the same with this room now. So yeah, but not in the garage, of course. But I don't want to do that while Philip's home because it makes a mess everywhere. So. All right. So lots of brackets here that we're using to create the sideways building techniques on the outside. So that's going to allow us to add the detail around the outside of this build. And I really like that this base is coming together in a very organic and interesting way. This one still uses studs up, but it uses a lot of those snot building techniques around the outside edges. So it probably won't be as smooth of a landscape for this one as like what we saw with the Shrek set, just given the number of studs that are exposed still. But I still think it's going to be very nice. So. And this is a great way to teach me some of these organic build techniques because like I said, I just don't really build that way all that frequently. So I like this opportunity to flex my skills. So yes, also an organic base, exactly. Made of organic matter, like actually organic, made of all of the mushrooms and things. It's funny, Gears from who was if you were in the live stream on Monday, where we talked about Lego Masters, Gears, who's our buddy from TechSlug, he's in DFW Lug, but he commented on my post and was joking about like, oh, I thought with organic base, we were building like a hydroponic thing on the moon or something along those lines. I was like, haha, yes, no. I really struggled with like, what do I call this video? Because it is an organic base, but it's not an organic base. I don't know. So I figured you all would understand what we're talking about once we got to it. So. And this month we may have some new friends that I've been connecting with through the Lego Builds page on Facebook. They made me a group expert in there, which just means that I know some things about Lego and can answer questions and whatever, which was really kind of them to do. And so I've been sharing the tutorial videos over there, and I was talking with the admins about it yesterday and encouraged them to participate in the build challenge. And they didn't even know that we had these build challenges because they spend most of their time on Facebook. So I was like, no, come to Instagram, hang out with us. If you're not on Insta, join us at the Discord. So we may have some new faces, which will be fun. So, all right. Yeah. So this is actually really cool. Very solid base. I'm loving this earth green color. It's earth green, right? Am I wrong about that? I feel like it's earth green, but it's basically the dark green color. So pretty. Lots of plates in this set in those colors or in that color. So a nice scheme. And I think the color works beautifully with reddish brown and just with nature builds in general. So done with bag one. It's kind of like a unique heart shape, right? With 3 bumps and not really fully closed here, and that's okay. But a fun little kind of setup so far. Right, let's dive into bag 2. Okay, so here we're getting some sand green and some classic green added in as well. All the other colors. Oh, and also some dark orange. So we're adding in some new, and black. What else? I think that's it. I think those are all the new colors. Oh, also some dark brown. So no surprise at what colors are in here, of course. I'm actually kind of surprised that so far the base only had reds and tans on the inside, but I don't think it needed to have other bright, bold colors like we typically see in these type of sets. I think those colors work perfectly, and they naturally map to what you would expect with mushrooms. So. Sean, you said because I have it pulled up. The video, is that what you're talking about? Let's see. What else do we have? How do you finally made it online? I am not seeing my previous comment. I'm in love with. Oh yes, I saw that. Great for fantasy settings. I want to know the color of the hats, nougat or medium nougat. We'll get there soon. I think. What is the red house behind you next to Mario? This one here above my thumb. That is my. It's actually pink and reddish orange stripes around it, and it is my like Animal Crossing home. When it was snowy, I built that for the Let's Build series build challenge that I was co-hosting with Kate in January, and it's actually a mock that I'm going to be bringing to Brick Rodeo. So looking forward to that. I decided to do that because at the time I was deep in Animal Crossing, loving the new Lego furniture, and so my whole focus there was I wanted to build a house because it's fun, but really I wanted to design all of the Lego furniture in real life. And so I did, which is great. And I put half the instructions up already on my instructions page, but I need to I need to finish refining some of the instructions for the chimney, the arcade game, the little botanical, um, and one other, oh, maybe the workbench, I think. I can't remember. There were 4 pieces, I think, left to do. So let's see. Love the botanical set. Want to use parts and things from it for some fantasy builds, mushroom houses to go with the gingerbread Hansel and Gretel. I mean, that's going to be perfect, of course. Dark green and earth green. Thank you. That's what I thought. Was trying to post the color data I had on hand. And you have a file with Bricklink, Lego Studio, and Aldraw color. Thank you for sharing that. It did like come across a little wonky, but we get it. And it's clear to know that you're referencing the earth green and dark green are like interchangeable names depending on if you're in Bricklink or in Lego. I wish now that they're owned by Lego, I wish they would just combine it all into one. Like I don't understand why they've stuck with it, other than it's probably just very time consuming to redo all the programming and stuff. But the reference chart that I have, the periodic table of Lego colors from We Love What You Build, I refer to that a ton to figure out what colors I need to look up on Bricklink. And also if I'm looking them up in Pick a Brick in particular, because sometimes I'll do a price comparison or a time comparison on like how long it'll take to get something ordered from Lego. And mostly like, is this part a standard part? Because if so, it's obviously going to take a little bit longer to order. But I love that chart. It's so helpful. And since it's across the room, I can't read it from here today while I was trying to figure out the color. So thank you for the assist. Let's see. Okay, so lots of 1x2s here of this earth green. I think I'll go with earth green. I think that's the Lego official color. And so I remember when we were on Lego Masters and John and I were building our alien, which we'll be talking about not next week, but the week after in the live streams. One of the things that was super frustrating was trying to find all the purple parts in their PDF. We looked it up and it was completely unclear other than that it's not named purple. I think it was like, or maybe it was looking for the pink parts and they were named purple. I can't remember. Something was like very different and confusing with the way they had worded it. And I was like, what in the world? I know there are some of these parts here. And so we just abandoned using the PDF that they gave us of all the parts that were in the brick pit because it was not useful in that moment. And we didn't have time to study it enough to figure out like, what am I actually looking for here? So, but yeah, I think sometimes the Lego colors are odd. All right, we're getting some of these. I love these pieces. And I especially love that we got so many of them in the roof pieces for, I can't point. I wish the camera weren't over there because I would like to just like move it around the room a little bit. But right up here, we've got all the Wicked sets and the Munchkin Land houses there. And it uses these in bright orange or reddish orange. So I posted about that build process today on, what's it called? What do you call that? You call that Threads. I posted about it on Threads because someone had said, like, show your favorite piece of art you've ever made. And I was like, honestly, the clothing that we did for the Wicked project, like, that was probably my favorite build to date. I mean, there's so many that I love for different reasons, but that was, I think, when I first started to say, you know what, maybe I am a Lego artist and kind of own that label in a different way. So anyway, I posted it, and then Randall from season 2, I think, who's a buddy of mine, we've never met in person, which is a bummer, but he commented on it. It was like a random person's thread, but it came up in his feed, and he was like, wait, where have I been? I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you hadn't seen this yet. So it's fun to remember sometimes that, like, you know, we are intimately aware of the things that we build and the things that we do and experiences we have. And then you get into a totally different environment and you're chatting with people and you're like, oh yeah, they don't know any of these things yet, right? Same with like talking to the admins within Lego builds. One of them was like, wait, you have a build community? And I was like, yes, I've been posting these tutorials every month and sharing, please join the build community. But obviously, like, you don't see every single thing that everybody posts all the time. And, you know, so, and no fault to anybody for not seeing those things. But it is interesting to me because it's like, yeah, we get so deep into our worlds that we can easily miss out on seeing some things. So that's also given me a little bit of freedom to start to repost some things that I've posted before as well, and share things that, like, oh yeah, you know, not every single person has seen this yet. So if you see that in my feed a little bit, and understand that there's a purpose for that. And I encourage you as well to share more photos or behind the scenes stuff of builds that you've done in the past as well, so that other people can get to see them. Because, like, if you're new to this build community, for an example, many people may not have ever seen any of your builds before. So don't ever feel embarrassed to reshare some of that stuff. And don't reshare the same thing over and over and over again, only ever. So balance it. But yeah, but don't feel bad about resharing some things. It's kind of the same with, like, when I want to bring something to a convention, I'm like, have I shown this enough? Like, have too many people already seen this? And then I remember that the public in whatever that convention is, even like Brick Radio is a great example. We do alternating between Houston and Austin, which means when we're in Houston, the audience that comes from the public are completely different often than the ones that'll come when we're back in Austin. So I think it's worth showing your builds twice, one in each location, even though a lot of the AFOLs who are coming may have already seen it. You're not really doing it exclusively for the other AFOLs, right? Of course, we always like to see what each other builds and that kind of thing. But it's also for these audiences of people who are so lucky to get to experience your artwork and the cool things that you're doing. So let's see. Okay. So we're building, I'm just going to show you a glimpse at what's coming. Oh, it's camera's up here. Show you a glimpse of what we're doing so far. So first off, I love how Lego sparkles in light. I hate it when I'm trying to take a really nice photo, but I love it for things like this. And like with the skirt that I made for the Wicked premiere, just because it's so pretty when the light catches it in different ways. So this organic shaping gives a lot of that effect too, which is really fun. I'm loving that we're kind of going around both this larger section and this smaller section, and I'm curious what'll happen here on the flat section. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, hi, Brett. How's it going? Good to see you. I am trying something a little bit different today where I have the camera a little bit further away, which means when I'm looking at the chat, it's here. And when I'm looking at the camera, it's here. And so I keep finding that, like, I'm forgetting the chat or not seeing all the things as they come through. But good to see you. And thanks for the for joining and the shout out. let's see. There's the English names and the Danish names, but I believe new colors are matching names from here on out. But sort of the Danish names are more confusing than the Lego ones. Oh, for the colors, for sure, right? And that's where like the pinks and purples, I was like, what in the world? This is so different. But it's because it's a different language that it was kind of sourced from. So I'm finishing up the final touches on the Studio Pick-a-Brick generator, was messing with how it detects the multi-packs with like friends bags and all the kitchen stuff in them, and fixing the color ID. That is so fun. And I'm excited to kind of see your final product as you get that finished. So you should share more in the chat about what you're working on, because that's really cool. And I don't think enough people know the full story there. I was in studio yesterday working on creating the instructions for a workshop that I'm going to be doing in Montreal. So I shared this in our live stream, the Lego Masters rewatch live stream the other day. But I'm so excited, y'all. I got invited to go to this incredible convention in Montreal called Le Summit de la Brique. And I get to give a talk about Lego and leadership, which I'm very excited about. It's a combination of my professional work and my love of Lego, so it's like such a gift and a wonderful opportunity, and also get to do a workshop. So I was designing the instructions for the workshop, and as many of you know, I don't really spend a ton of time in studio. It's just not where I typically build. I like to build physically first. And so it was interesting to be back in there again. I've been getting more experience with it as I've been building instructions to put on my website. But yeah, it's just it's a different way of working, you know. A different workflow, a different mindset that you're in. This was a relatively simple build that I've done a number of different times, and I've led workshops on similar, one of the core technique for it before. And so at least it was like something I was familiar with. But yeah, it always surprises me of like, oh, this is so, it's a different way of working for sure. Okay, something got off here. This is what happens when you talk during your, which obviously that's what we do during live streams, but okay, what did I miss? All the way back here. So from this all the way over to here, I need to move it over one stud. Woohoo, fun. Bear with me, all. But yeah, so if you're going to be in Montreal in October, I'll see you at that convention. I'm curious. I think I'll be meeting a lot of new to me people, which is really fun. I love getting the experience of traveling and connecting with new to me builders. So really, really looking forward to it. And I've never been to Canada, and I can't wait. We're still trying to figure out if Philip will be able to go. We're thinking probably no this time. But if that changes, I'll be so happy, because I would love to have that experience with him. So, Brett, what have you been up to? And do you like botanicals? And same question for anybody, if you haven't answered yet, about your thoughts on botanicals. I was very excited about this one because it's so different than a lot of the other botanicals that we've gotten. I just think the mushroom vibe is also, it's very popular right now in a lot of pop culture, and a lot of like pattern designs that I see with paper crafting, which is another hobby of mine, as well as with fabric and things. And so I think it was a really smart move from the Lego group to throw this in there as another botanicals idea. And it also just changes it up a bit. Plus, like we've talked about here, there's lots of parts that will be great for landscaping. So I can see many people parting these out and designing large forest floor type scenes. And I'm excited to see if anybody takes it, and which I'd like to do this. I just don't know if I'll ever get around to having the time to. But if anybody gets around to taking it and building micro world for teeny tiny minifigures living in the forest floor, so building houses for them, and kind of like the Smurfs, right? So this could be a lot of fun. Let's see, what else do we have? It's a Python script I've used to teach myself about as I want a better way to source parts. So this gets the nearly 1,700 pick-a-brick parts, translates them to Bricklink ID and Aldraw. Yay! And then it outputs the palette and XML file for either wanted list with prices, or open them in Studio and be able to see what is currently on Pick-a-Brick, which is amazing and going to be so helpful. In the Lego Ambassador Network, they share with us typically, here's the list of new parts that are coming soon, and occasionally they'll share, here's the list of parts that are going away. And they share it broadly with Lego ambassadors and fan media as well. I think I'm one of the few fan media that, and maybe that's not true, but I'm one of the fan media who does mocks and who that information especially applies to a lot of my a lot of y'all, right? A lot of the builders in our community. So I like to try and share that when they send it our way. Often, by the time I get around to sharing it, someone else has already shared it, which is great. The point is that you get the information you need to make informed decisions. But it's always an exciting time to see, like, oh, yay, these new parts that we saw in the sets this year are finally available. You know, I wish in real life that everyone would talk like that with like lots of cheers and lots of emotion all the time. It's funny, I at one point I was talking to somebody, it might have been Philip actually, but I was saying like, I think it's so funny that like oftentimes I'll, write texts or whatever, but it's not how I actually talk. I don't actually say things like yay and stuff like that. And he laughed and was like, yes, you do. That's pretty much how you talk all the time. And I was like, really? I don't think I do. And then I became very aware of it that week, as I was, I think, at work at the time, and I was just like chatting, and I was like, yay! And as soon as I said it, I got really embarrassed because I realized, oh, I guess that is true. So, I thought I was fooling everybody into thinking that I was a curmudgeon, or that I was not a curmudgeon, but really I am. But nope, just a gleeful, happy person. So let's see. I like botanicals so far. It's the only theme I could get my mom and sister into. That's so true for so many people too. Like I feel like it's brought in a lot of women into the hobby as well. My sister and her friend each bought a relatively big botanical set recently, and I was so proud of them. Yay! I love that. That's really fun. My current lug person doesn't share any of that info. Oh, bummer. I'm sorry to hear that. There is so much shared in the Lego Ambassador Network all the time. And sometimes it can be confusing as to what's for what audience and that kind of thing. And so I think, sometimes it can be just a little overwhelming for sure. But I would also say that it's important as an ambassador that you think about what your community would want to know and make sure that you get that information for them. So perhaps that's a conversation you can have of like, hey, I'd love to see this when it comes out, if you do get access to that in the future. To give a little bit of feedback to them on ways they can continue to help all the people who are parts of your lug. So our lug ambassador is a good friend of mine, Ben. Many of you know him, of course. Ben Rollman, and before him it was Will Heron, and Will is still the ambassador for Brick Rodeo, the convention. So the three of us are all in the Lego Ambassador Network for three very different reasons, but all in the same lug, which is fun. And so occasionally we'll also get together for lunch, in part just because we're good friends, but also to talk about different ambassador type things. And I find because I'm in the lug, I helped plan Brick Rodeo many years in a row, and I'm fan media, that oftentimes, or I used to, get really sucked into reading everything in the land that was applicable for any of those communities. And I was like, wait, I don't need to pay attention in the land to all the things pertaining to Brick Rodeo or to the lug, because I can count on them to pay attention to that stuff, and it's not my job. And that was very freeing to because there's a lot of information in there, so it can be very overwhelming, especially at first. It's kind of hard to navigate when you first get into it. So lug ambassadors do a lot of really hard work, and I'm grateful for them for sure. But yeah. All right, let's see. So finally getting to adding these sand green pieces. You know what? I'm going to flip ahead and let you know what that color is because it's been bothering me that it hasn't come up yet. Looks like it's going to be medium nougat for those hats. So those are the minifigure hats that we saw, I think, first with the Seven Dwarves. Uh-oh. Something slipped behind me. That's the precariousness of having some stacked boxes and things with Lego in here, especially with like my relatively quick tidy up this room as much as I can for at least what you all will see in the live stream today. Makes me a little nervous about what's going on behind me, but I think we're going to be okay. If I get tumbled underneath a whole bunch of stuff, please just call for help for me. All right, so this is an interesting part usage. We're using this little I don't know what you'd call this, but it's like a tooth from gearing mechanisms. It has a hole that's the axle hole with the plus shape in it, and I think it's just for visual detail, so it's made to look like just organic matter, which is fun. I don't think it's actually for any function. And I love when Lego finds a way to use a part in a unique way like that. So, for those of you who joined on Monday for the Lego Masters rewatch, I'm curious if you have any feedback or input into what you'd like to see, what you enjoyed about it, and what you'd like to see changed. Just because it's new for us, and trying something different, which is a lot of fun. I have in the past done live streams with other people. Sometimes related to Lego Masters and sometimes not, and really enjoy that a lot. It's a lot of fun when I've done it. So happy to get to do that again for the next 10 weeks. But as we're doing it, I want to make sure that it's a good use of your time as well. So I do wish there was a way for us to show the episode and watch it live together. And to my knowledge, there's not. So if that changes and there's something that someone can figure out that is a legal way for us to do that, let me know, because I would love to have it be an actual watch party. But for now, my understanding is we're not able to actually do that. So, okay, this doesn't, oh, that's because it's the wrong piece. Yeah. While you did your Lego Masters Season 5 anniversary stream, I was at Universal Studios with my friends. I love that. Did you have a good time? Did you do anything new for you at Universal? I know you get to go a lot, so this isn't fitting on. What's going on here? Something, huh? Well, that's odd. I have never had a piece not want to snap into place. Let me try it in a different spot. What is happening here? I wonder if it's just like, I think the piece is just a little off-centered. Yeah, it must just be that the piece is off-centered because it works fine when it's removed. So let me just try positioning that again. That's weird. There we go. Okay. I showcased a custom Brickheads creation of Marilyn Monroe. Yay! That's awesome. Was that at Universal? And where did you showcase it? Do they have like an area where you can display Lego? That'd be really cool. I would love to see it if you want to share it sometime with us. All right, we're just building up. I've got this little hole in the middle, and I like that we're going to get some different texture and heights, but also some openings and things too. So I just showed it to a couple of TMs and my friends. That's fun. Well, that's really cool. I love that. Was it a design that you created yourself? Let's see here. Okay, so now we're using a lot of these parts, which will be fun to see how they use these. But we're putting these parts that have the rod off the side of them, and those will be used to clip on some different details. So I'm eager to find out how that will be used here. I do like when you see uses of parts like that that allow you to build like at unique angles and things. I think that's something that for many builders, when they experience that in a set, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's not just stacking bricks, right? So looking forward to seeing what comes from this. And here we're also using some ball joints, and that will also be another way to create some interesting dimension and angles and such. So these go on the back here. Well, what looks like the back, I'm assuming, because I'm guessing it faces forward like this. So the cups for the ball joints on the back. They're not designed to where those can twist, but since the ball will be in it, that should be able to twist a little bit. So, all right, here is the finished bag 2. So you can see that we went up. We added all that detail of the kind of rounded, or covered those rounded pieces with lots of foliage detail and dirt and such. And then built up with this opening, which is nice right here, and lots of different pieces that we'll be attaching some detail to. So let's continue bag 3. Okay, so that was what my hope was, but I didn't look too deeply at this set yet. These mushroom caps, I think is what you actually call them. The printing is reddish orange, not red. And I love that. I think that's very appropriate use of that color, and I was hoping that would be the case. But like I said, I didn't look too closely at it yet. So I remember when it first came out and they announced it, there were a million reveals all at the same time. And so this is one that I didn't really look at right away. But take a look at that. That is so pretty. So we have a large one. We have this medium size one. And we have this beautiful rounded one, which is so fun. This is going to make some really nice mushroom builds. So the other color that's new to this set in bag 3 is white. So that's going to work really well with these really beautiful mushrooms. So of y'all on the feed, who is planning to go to Brick Rodeo? And I know a few of you are doing Chicago, but are there other conventions that you're headed to? And also, has anyone ever attended Le Summit de la Brick, which I think it's the 3rd year. So I think it's only been around 2 years before this, if I'm not mistaken. I'm curious if any of you have been before. You cannot tell the difference on stream, unfortunately. You can barely tell the not orange at this distance, and up close it looked red. Oh, bummer. Okay, let me find a red part, and I'll show you the two side by side. My hope was that the color was very clear in my video, because this camera is a really nice camera, but I also get that some of these things don't always work. Okay, well, I have a bright red heart in front of me. Here we go. Here's red. Here's reddish orange. They do look similar, but if you cover them, if you overlap them, you can see the difference for sure. So that gives you a sense, hopefully. You think you'll sit this year? Yeah, I figured you would. That's typical Missy. When it's as convenient as possible in your own hometown, you're just gonna not go. So no, I know you'll be there. I'm really excited to see what you're bringing too. And I've seen some of it, which is fun. For the Lego Masters, I think we were more active in the chat, but I'd leave more time for viewer questions. Okay, cool. That's helpful. So let's see, you can definitely tell side by side, but it was harder on its own as you assume saturation. That's totally fair. You know what? My battery is low. Just a moment. I thought this was plugged in, but I think with moving it around over and over again, it got unplugged. So let me just get that up and running. Here we go. All right. Sean, thanks for letting me know too that the color was not showing up clearly. That's helpful for me to know so I can make sure that when I'm showing those things that you have some kind of basis of comparison. So, all right. Let's continue. So we're building on the front of this now. I have it towards me just to make that easier. But try to angle this in a way that you can see it too. Yeah, the other thing is it was our first episode to do that. And also I hadn't seen these people in forever. And so it was tempting just to be like, yay, let's just reconnect and chat and hang out. And I wanted to make sure that it didn't become only that, you know? So after the feed was over, we stayed on for a little bit as well, just to catch up beyond what you all saw. So that was really nice. This next week, I haven't announced it yet, but I'll share tomorrow. It's going to be Nikki and Britt, and I'm very excited. We got to be teammates with them for the second episode, and so I'm looking forward to getting to chat with both of them because I haven't. I want to say that in one of our we still have it on the calendar, but I haven't been in forever. But we have these. Where's this piece? Is that hiding under a mushroom cap? We have these weekly season 5 catch-ups, like Zoom calls, not weekly, monthly. And I think I saw her on, or Nikki and Britt on 1 or 2 of those. Oh, here it is. But yeah, I haven't really seen them in a very long time. So it's just me, but I think the reddish orange is just one of those colors that makes it difficult. That's also possible too. And it might be the device that you're watching this on too. You know, obviously there's all these different factors that could play into how you're seeing what you're seeing through the screen. So, all right. What's interesting now is it's showing that we're clipping on clips. Okay, this is fun. So we're going to clip on these clips to attach some different foliage, and it shows it from above to show you the angle that you're going and where they should attach. So that's very useful to have the like overhead view. I love it when you're building a set and they have that for some of the detail. Okay, and then, so to show you in the instructions, they have it set up to whoops, there you are. They have it set up to where you can see exactly what's happening from above. So right, and now we're going to add some of these pieces of foliage. So added a link to my mock account. Awesome. Where is the link? Where did you add that so that we can find it? Nikki was at my table last year in Chicago. She was sharing space with a friend. Super wonderful, but hardly could recognize her without a different hairstyle. Oh, fun. That's cool. I'm trying to remember how her hair has changed. Again, having not seen her in forever. Like we did chat, I think after she bought her house, which I think was maybe when the show was live. We had a couple conversations during that time frame, which was really fun. So, and yeah, I really wanted to go to Chicago because there was a nice little reunion among a lot of our buddies there. But then many of them came to Brick Rodeo. So it was really nice to catch up with a lot of them in person then. So we won't have as many at Rodeo this year. We still have quite a few, but last year I think we had 16 or maybe 13 of our 22. So let's Let's see. This looked like it's building up to be something cool. It is. It is a beautiful build. Very well designed so far, and I'm very impressed with it. I'll show you the picture in just a moment. It is the Woodland Mushrooms. So this is the instruction book that shows a little bit of what's going on here. Oh, let me find the box. That's going to be easier. Here we go. It's this set that we're working on. So it comes out June 1st. So it's one of the new botanicals that we've got coming up. And I'm really enjoying the build so far. So, oh, it's on your channel description. Awesome. Thank you. How much was done with hair, makeup, wardrobe for each episode? Good question. Yeah, it's a really, really cool one. Also, welcome to my channel. It's good to see you. Happy to have you here. So hair and makeup, we had they had us come a week before filming started for some training and photos and videos and wardrobe to figure out what we were going to wear and all that kind of stuff. They asked us to um, take photos of a bunch of things that we would like to wear on the show of our own clothes and send them in advance. And then they told us what to bring of that. And then the wardrobe stuff, they would have us like try on some of our own clothes and try on some of the clothes that they got that would coordinate or go with the vibe that our clothes had, and take some photos. And then they would send it to Fox, and Fox would decide like, yes, we agree with this, or no, we don't. For some people, it was literally their own wardrobe. For other people, it was literally all brand new clothes that they got for the show. And for me, it was a hybrid. So all of my button-up shirts and jeans were my own. They actually, I had a few different pairs of pants that I brought for the show, and they ended up going with only one pair of jeans. So they bought me 3 pairs to go with my one pair I already had. So I left with 4 pairs of the exact same jeans, which was really nice. I'm glad I still have them. And I'm glad I like them because I have them in abundance now. But they, all of the jackets that I wore were from the show, and everybody got to go home with the wardrobe from the show. So that was like a fun gift and a fun surprise that none of us expected. So I have these really cool jackets now, and layered shirts and things. And there were some other things that they had bought potentially for me to use for future episodes or just like at a different time, that I ended up not wearing on the show, and they still sent me home with it, which was really cool. So that was all coordinated by a wardrobe team who made all those decisions. I brought my Lego shoes and asked if I could wear them because they're Adidas and we weren't allowed to have branded stuff. And they caved and let me wear them, which was great. And so I got to wear them on every episode, and I have 2 pair. So that was really fun. But those were my own shoes as well. And then let's see, hair. They worked with us to figure out what our style was going to be, and they made sure that it was consistent every single day. And the reason for that is they might film something later that they would cut in the edits that would show up earlier, and they wanted it to not to stand out and look totally different. So for instance, all those things that you see in those side videos where we're like in a separate room, obviously that wasn't filmed during the actual competition. We would film all the competition at once, and then we would film those afterward. And so they would have to make sure that our look matched what was on TV that day. So a lot of work was put up front into making sure that they had it right of how we were supposed to look. And then they took these reference photos of us, and they would compare every day to make sure, like, do you still look like what you did a while ago? And if they needed to cut your hair, they could trim it a little bit to make it match the length for those who have like really fast growing hair. For me, because my hair was purple, I came in with it actually similar to like this this color here, like the lighter purple. And they said, we love your hair. It's so much fun. However, under stage lights, it's going to look gray. Do you feel comfortable with us adding magenta into it so that it's more pink? And I was like, yes, please. I don't want it to look gray. That's perfectly fine by me. And so they made a custom color mix for me using pink and purple together. And that's what color my hair was for the show, which was also fun because then my hair ended up being even more different than Nick's was a couple seasons before mine. So it was nice that like I didn't look just like him per se, as well as like especially because we both independently chose to do purple hair. Um, didn't even know each other at the time, so like I didn't want people to think that I was doing it just to look like him, or for people to be like, "Oh, it's another purple haired person" or whatever. Although that was a non-issue, no one cared. So, but because of that, when you wash your hair and you have vibrant colored hair, it fades. So, like all of this is faded since I got it done last. I'm supposed to get it done tomorrow. I'm trying to get it done a week from tomorrow because we've got a lot of stuff with Penny that I have to navigate. So, I was hoping to not have to go in tomorrow for that, but we'll see. But you do have to refresh the color often. So we were on a schedule with mine where they would um, have me shampoo with this specific stuff every day, but then also once or twice a week, they would also saturate it in the same color in the morning. So our mornings were spent getting ready. Like we'd have a 5:30 a.m. call time, and then sometimes 6:30, which was a gift. I am not a morning person, so that was tough to get used to. But we would go over and to the studio in our own clothes, and then we would change when we were at the studio into whatever they told us to wear that day. There were wardrobe racks that were for each of us, and so everybody had their own. So you would just kind of go over and they would be like, here's your outfit for the day. And then for people like Rebecca, she had a very complicated twisted braid in her hair. And Sage as well also had some really fun hair. And so they had to spend easily an hour in the hair department area, whereas mine was done very quickly. So typically, John and I were both ready early, unless they had to re-dye my hair. So that was a long answer to your question, but that's the answer. So, and then makeup also same thing. So they figured out what makeup we would use for the show. Some people use more than others. I asked them to give me eyebrows because if you can't tell, I don't really have eyebrows. I have very very thin eyebrows, so they did that every day. But I had relatively little makeup on. But I did when I left. Asked about like, hey, what makeup do you use to do my eyebrows? And they gave me the pencil that they used, and I've used it ever since. And then I had to buy new ones, of course, since then too. So, um, but yeah. Okay, this says a new decoration makes the fly agaric tops. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce that. Shine with bright bursts of color. So that's talking about this piece here. All right, take a look at this. So we got our first mushroom. We added some foliage. You can see that we added that foliage using clips. So those clips and bars allow it to be very organic in the way that it's set up. So really, really nice. So let's see here. Missy says, I'm not a morning person. 5:30 is way too early for me. Tell me about it. I am definitely not a morning person at all. And I would say if you want to train yourself to be a morning person, go on a reality show where they force you to be, because the stress and pressure of you don't want to be left behind at the hotel was enough to get me out of bed every morning. And also to get me to go straight to bed when we got back to the rooms. So those days of filming were very, very long. I would typically finish filming and John and I would go back to the hotel and chat about our build and whatever we learned that day. And then we would go to our separate rooms and I would call Philip and we would chat for a little bit. And then I would say, good night, I need to go to bed because we have to get up again really early the next day. And anytime we had a later call time, I was like, thank you, God, because I'm so tired. So, but yeah, I grew very comfortable with that and became more of a morning person for the time being, but that's no longer true. So, okay, fun. So we're using this Technic angled piece that you see here. I'm squinting. It's funny because you can see it without me having to squint. But we're using this angle piece here. There we go. To attach this at a really interesting angle, like so. And that way, as you can see, It's even more organic, which is fun. Bev's not a morning person either, but with a new dog, I get up early to feed and go outside and then back to sleep for me. Good for you. Penny, morning responsibility used to be mine because I would go into work before Philip back in the day of going into the office and when I worked at UT. And he would kind of handle her. We give her 2 meals in the morning and 2 meals at night, so she gets first and second half, which she now knows those words. I'm surprised she didn't run over as soon as she heard it. She's probably sleeping. But Philip would take care of second half time frame, and that was all flipped now. So now he takes care of the morning stuff because he has early morning work calls every day, pretty much. And then on the weekends, I take care of the morning stuff typically because that lets him sleep in a little bit too. So I try to balance it out. But okay, so now we are going to be clipping on all of these different little pieces. So we've got these clips here. And these are going to clip onto the white steering wheel type piece. And that's going to create the like underlining ribbed lines of the underside of a mushroom, which is really, really clever. And they show pictures above to make sure that you know that the angle in which you're attaching these. So I like that approach. It looks like there will be 24 on each. Is that right? No, maybe even more than that. Just kidding. There will be 16 on each. But that makes it easy to know where they go because essentially you make a plus shape like this, and then you rotate it and make a plus shape again, and then you rotate a little bit. Like you just keep going in between the lines, if that makes sense. So I made the plus, and then I'm going to go in between all those lines again with 4 more, and that's our first 8. Like so. And then now we're going to do another row in between all of those. So not really that hard to put on, which is good. Yeah, the show was such an interesting experience. We were there basically working Monday through Saturday, and then we would have Sundays off. And Monday through Friday, we would film the competition. Saturdays were interview days, and so that's when we would go in, and we would all have different call times because they only had 3 trailers to do the interviews, and with 11 teams, they couldn't have us all doing it at the same time. Plus, they didn't have enough producers to be able to interview people all simultaneously, and that was like a weird experience because you'd be talking about things that you did previously in the week. And they would have us change throughout the day on Saturday into whatever clothes we were wearing on the different episodes. And we filmed them in reverse order. So it was like, this is really confusing, but it's really fun. So, but it was great. It was really, really incredible. Okay, so take a look at this. So we have this little like broken umbrella type thing, right? With the ribbed lines of all those little lines. This part goes on top of it, and it's just a flawless design, in my opinion. It's so good. I'm going to push these up so that they go up into the base of that, right? But it just looks, it looks so right. I feel like it's supposed to be that way for sure. So, by the way, I spoke to a former teacher of mine yesterday, and my old school is getting new Lego robots soon. Yay! If it's allowed to and remembers, I might get something from the old robots they have left to get rid of. Yay! Fingers crossed for you. That's really cool. I love it when that happens and you have those opportunities. So this says claw elements can be used for much more than Lego animals and creatures. Here they make up the gills under the large fly agaric mushrooms. So these are called gills. Learned something new today. All right, so this one now is going to go in here. And it is going, what angle would that be? It's going back? I think it's going back. Is that right? I mean, it can go back. Okay, so satisfying, y'all. Look at these, look at the angles of these 3. So the one with the round top is straight up, but the other 2 are like a fun little jaunty angle. And that's just so satisfying. And then we get these last 2 little leaf pieces to go up from the ground. And these are just simply sliding onto the clip bars. So bar clips, clip bars, which would you say? All right. There we have it. This is through bag 3. So far, my favorite bag. And I'm actually surprised that we put those on first so early among the mushrooms. Although it makes sense probably from building all the other things around it. It still felt like those were like the piece de resistance for this build. So, all right, bag 4. I looked at this and I ordered around $30 in Duplo parts from Pick-a-Brick that are classified as floral to see if I can do anything with them in my latest standard order. That's so fun! Love it was thinking they'd be the other way around pointing up. Oh, yeah. I really love, let me make sure. I'm like, oh, shoot, did I do that backwards? No, I did it right. Okay. It's like, wait for the gills. Yeah, they curl out like this as opposed to up. But I could see them curling up too, though. That could make sense too. All right. So now we get these ones that are going to be the tops of some different mushrooms. So we got through the fly agaric mushrooms, which again, the instructions told us all the different names of them. I'm sure that I will get some of my pronunciation wrong, I assume, with these, because they're not words that we typically use, and that's okay. If you are an expert at this and know, I'd be happy for you to correct me, although I don't know how you would do so in writing. So, all right, let's continue the fun. Yeah, this is really, really beautiful. And it's a nice size. It's like a decent size, but it's not too big. I think this would look beautiful next to the Kingfisher, which we have in our primary bathroom. It's a really beautiful build. Also a very satisfying build too. I felt like I learned a lot about interesting build techniques and things from that one. So that one is rumored to retire soon. I haven't heard officially yet if that's true from Lego, but I know that, you know, I've seen other websites kind of share about some things are you know, retiring soon, and so we'll have to wait and see. But that was a really nice build process. I really enjoyed that one. Okay, so this is gonna go. Oh, okay. All right, we're attaching more of the clips on, the bars with clips. And we were getting some in brown as well here, so that'll be fun to see what they're for, because that'll probably be for a different type of mushroom style. We also have these fun brown pieces. So those will also be an interesting one to use in here. How many of these do we have? It says 4. Here we go. They're all such similar colors that it's hard to track them down in here. All right. I'm excited to see what you do with your Duplo floral pieces. That's really fun. I love it when people combine Duplo with mocks that are Lego scale. I just think it's so fun. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously. If you didn't know, Duplo can build on top of Lego. So Duplo are the larger ones that they make for kids. And Lego can build on top of Duplo, but you have to do it with bricks. So you have to have a 2x4 brick to go across 2 studs on a Duplo brick. But that can be really useful for the interior core of large scale builds where you're wanting to have supports. Instead of building a huge amount of bricks to be this tall, you can build like 10 Duplo bricks tall. So that helps with the weight as well because they're less heavy. And yeah, so that's obviously a really good use of them, but you can also use them in different interesting ways to add texture and shape and random things. So I'm excited to see what you do with them, Sean. That'll be fun. I love seeing people's undersea builds, and I've seen a lot of people use Duplo in those before when they're making large scale coral and things. And I've debated getting some for myself a number of different times. I think We have some coming through the lug that I'll be getting, but I can't remember. So, and I think I got some specifically, I ordered some specifically for like interior core of larger builds. So, okay, lots of foliage here. So for anybody building with our build challenge, I'm curious if you have any questions or thoughts related to the prompt. I wasn't sure if it was clear enough what I'm asking for this month. And yeah, just wanted your thoughts on that. So let me know. Yep, but these are floral. Not sure how well they would fit, or maybe just friction fit them and build around them. Was those 4x4x1 lily pad 4-leaf flowers? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and the bush with 2x2 duplo hole. Nice. So yeah, there will hopefully be a way that you can incorporate them with bricks, even though the stud connections are a little bit different than like a standard like square duplo. But I still think there's ways to do it. So yeah, really curious to see what comes from it. So, all right, this is fun. So we are doing clipping this one on at an angle up, and then the one beside it is kind of going down at an angle, and that's creating more like rounded shape for the hill that we built, brick built already. Let's see. Oh, and Bev and Missy, since you're in Austin, I went to a new to me store this week. Have you ever been to Mothership? It's Mothership Books and Games. And the guy who was there, I asked him, how long have you been open? And he was like, in the current ownership for at least 18 years. I was like, what? How did I not know about you? And he said, you can tell that we've had some changes over the years because our name still says Books and Games, but it's only games now. But yeah, I was curious, did y'all know about them and have you been before? It was a nice little setup. It looks like they have some open space for gameplay too. So I might see, once I get some dedicated Pokemon card game players in my friend base who wants to come and join me for gaming there sometime. So I've still been going to Dragon's Lair occasionally on Tuesdays to do some Pokemon gaming, and that's been a lot of fun. But I mostly play in the app, the Pokemon TCG app. I did do the pre-release event though a couple weekends ago and really loved it. It was a lot of fun and got some great new cards. So now I'm playing a deck that has a lot of EV evolutions in it. So evolutions, I think, is how you're supposed to say that. All right. Getting closer to adding on some more mushrooms. This is cool. This is a really satisfying set. I think Philip would have really enjoyed this build, to be honest. But we can't build everything together. I have to remind him sometimes when he really wants to build something. I'm like, I know, and I need to do something for my live stream, or I need to do something just for review during some of the time when you're in a work meeting or whatever. So we always discuss what sets are coming to see what we can prioritize to make sure that he gets to build with me. But yeah, I think he would enjoy this one. We still have the insects collection to build together. So that's one that I have been meaning to do, but we just haven't had a lot of time. His job has been so wildly busy with this big project he's working on right now. So I think I talked with y'all a little bit about it, but it's a really cool project related to the World Cup. And that's part of his travel. So he's getting to go to New York for part of that, which will be really cool for him. I'll be here with Penny. Okay, we got these little baby mushrooms. So these, I always call these egg pieces, but it's that like rounded part that has the little rod underneath. And these are going to go in to the foliage here. I'll pick it up and turn around and show you in a second. But I like it because we're also getting some larger ones that are going to go around it too. And that obviously makes sense to have a variety of size around this. Oh, and also I'm just noticing now we have these little like wood type parts, right? But this is actually dark red. It looks reddish brown, but it's dark red. And when I combine it with a reddish brown one, you'll see the difference, hopefully. But yeah, you can see the reddish brown is in my fingers, and then sticking out of it is dark red. I think that's a new recolor. I don't think we've gotten that part in this color yet. So that's pretty cool. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let's see. What? Not yet, but okay. Sean says, what I was thinking for your prompt was just anything other than a plate square base that has some edging. And then Bev says, building a base displayer with a scene on top using jumper plates. Yeah, so essentially it was like, when you build and design a scene, it's so easy to start with, this is a coaster, it's a Lego coaster, but to start with your base plate and just build up from it, and maybe to like get rounded base plates and create a little bit of shaping around it in interesting ways. But that's like the level 1 version, or maybe level 2 version of building. So I wanted it to be where you're building the base using sideways snot building techniques, so that a lot of it could be smooth potentially. And you have studs sticking up here and there, for the purpose of adding on some other pieces. That said, when I'm building this is definitely an organic base, and this is also studs up. They just use brackets on the side to create a lot of the really interesting edging. So I don't think I would be opposed to someone doing something like this, for the build challenge. But I'm curious on your thoughts, if you think that's like aligning with what you understood it to be, or if that's a departure from it. Because I feel like the way I described it was only sideways building with studs up, or with studs not up. And I still, that's what I'm going to do. For me, that's what I'm going to challenge myself to do, because I think that's just a unique challenge for the. It's a different style of building than I usually do. But yeah, you also know that I don't tend to be like super duper strict with these things either. So Lamborghini Revuelto and Lamborghini Hurricane STO and the Japanese Cherry Blossom Landscape. Oh, I missed your comment above, and I was like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Dark red has been in those 2 sets. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, Mayo. Good morning. No, it's the middle of the night there. Good night. Hi, good to see you. I love when you're able to join, and I know that these are such challenging times for you to join, because it's literally the middle of your night. So, bye, JJ. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. So newish part, it came out in August in that Speed Champions. You can't sleep. I'm sorry, friend. I figured that might be the case since you're up so late. And happy to entertain you while you're awake. And maybe I will bore you to sleep. That'd be great, so that you could get some rest. Yeah. But good to see you nonetheless. And I hope you do eventually get some rest. So. All right, here is a fun little jaunty angle for another mushroom cap. So we are, wait, oh, I missed a very crucial piece. You can see that we created the little stem using some Technic pieces, and then we're going to attach on the bottom of this one of these plates. And that way it has an axle hole in it that this axle can fit on. So that creates a nice little curved shaped piece that's going to go perfectly right here. So it has that little angle sticking out. I love how organically this is coming together. This is really, truly an organic build for sure. So speaking of the build challenge, right? This is spot on for that. All right, and this one is going to curve around to the side, which is really fun. Actually, let me flip that. Maya, what have you been up to? Other than not sleeping. Okay, so this one Has a very different curve to it, but I like that. Bye, Stefan. Good to see you. Have a good night. You saw Jaystifer review this set earlier. Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen. I haven't had a chance to look at anybody else's reviews of this set, but was so excited that we got to experience it because it's a really, really great build. Okay, this is an odd. Oh, I see. So I was thinking it goes on here, but it doesn't. Let me clip that back on. This one goes attached to that piece, that axle piece that we had before. Okay, cool. So now you can see the designs. That's really cool. And then we will move into the next section, or the third one. I like that there's like trios of mushrooms over and over again. I know eventually we're going to hit where it changes up the numbers, but I really enjoy when there's multiples and like that, or when we've got things in groupings of 3. All right, and this one attaches here. So let's see. This is just so fun. I'm really liking that. It's cool. So, did Jaystifer do that today? Was it actually the exact same day, or was it just like recently? This one arrived at our house on Thursday of last week, and felt like I've just been like rushing to try and get some review stuff done. And because it was a long weekend and we've been so tired with all this stuff with Penny, it just was like, this is not going to happen, and that's okay. That is perfectly fine. I don't have to do all the things and have to have everything out before other people. Like, to me, I don't necessarily try to make sure that all my review stuff comes out the day that we can first share that. I find that part of the hustle to be exhausting and not worth my time. Rather, I would like to take my time with the different builds. And I also, it allows me to have more fun with them too. Not saying that anybody else who is first in line to getting it out is doing it wrong. We're just doing it differently. But I tried to give myself freedom to not get so stressed about that, so that it would be, so I wasn't kind of getting frustrated when I'm behind, if you will. So, all right, this is a fun little build. What is this one called? This one, okay, this says, when recreating whimsical shapes, all sorts of Lego elements come into play. For the collared Earth star's characteristic form, we combine triangular street signs with the minifigure shield elements. That's really fun. It's a really interesting design. So Jay's video review was released today. Oh, awesome. Nice. That's cool. I don't know if he's fan media or not. I don't know that I know Jaystifer. I feel like I know the name. So like, I think I've seen his stuff before, but it's not ringing a bell, which I feel bad about, but we can't know everybody, and that's okay. But that's fun. I always like to see how different people approach reviews, and kind of what all of our different takes are on different sets too. So yeah. Okay. So then we're putting on this little hat on top. And it says we only do this once, but we've got enough parts to do it a second time. So I'm wondering what's going to be different in the second time of the build. Okay, this is an interesting and odd shape. Did I do those right? This is really weird, y'all. Like, not what I was expecting it to look like. Let me... Oh, part of it is these aren't fully centered. Let me adjust those a little bit. Here we go. But yeah, that's an odd shaped little piece. So he has fan media, does lots of build tutorials. Nice, good stuff. The ferns behind the mushroom look so good, right? It's really, really an impressive build so far. I am picturing Jaystifer now, and I know when he became fan media, I remember subscribing to his channel, but I obviously have not watched it. So I need to go and actually see some of his stuff. But I'm remembering him now. Yeah, we don't interact all that much on the LAN with each other. which honestly, I mostly interact with the staff from the Lego Ambassador Network. More so than I do with other fan media through the LAN. Usually, if I'm interacting with people, it's through Instagram because that's where I connect most and spend more time, other than when I'm streaming on here. And so, because of that, I just don't get to know the other YouTubers as well. I need to be, or I want to be better about that, especially with YouTubers, because that's a part of where I spend my time too. And I want to know others that are in this space as well. So I know I've gotten to know some of y'all through some of the streamathon type events, and those were always fun because I'm like, wow, there are so many really cool streamers out here that I just don't spend as much time with. So I want to participate in more of those as well, just to continue to grow my own just awareness of others that are in this really cool Lego streamer space. So all right, so we're building a second one. This second one doesn't clip on in the same way, so that's why it's two different instruction sections. So oh yay, Jay's a good friend of yours. You've known him like 13 years. That is so cool. An elder statesman in the Lego community. He's been around since 2010. Wow, that's cool. I've heard a few LAN people say that all TGE sets arrive too close to the date the NDA is lifted, meaning minus Tirith has that's been done since. Yeah. Okay. So what I will say to that is there have been waves where I get the waves really early. And by really early, it might be like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before we can share the reviews. And when that happens, I get nervous because I have the boxes around our house. And like, if I would put them in the Lego room, I would have to be very careful to make sure that they weren't in the back of my videos or anything. And so I tend to keep them more like hidden and in spaces where they're not going to accidentally show up in a video. And then there have been times when it comes much closer to the date. And the Lego Ambassador Network staff do their absolute best to get us the product as soon as they can. But there's 130-ish fan media, and we each get different things. And so there's a lot to coordinate for them on the back end. And also, they don't create the sets. So they're also reliant on the Lego group having them ready for them to share with us at different times and whatever. So it can be really challenging for them to get us all the things on time. So there was a recent delay in some things coming through, which is why like I got this just Thursday, and I think the review date for it was the beginning of May. So this one, it was like, well, oh well, that's fine. But other ones I got, like I told you, I'm getting the Fortnite sets. They're coming on the 28th, and I think we're able to share them by the 26th, which was yesterday. So I think that's right. I don't know, sometime around there. So this wave in particular was a little bit behind. And they sent us like an apology email about like, hey, here's an update on, not really, I mean, it was an apology, but and I don't think anybody needed to apologize either. But that said, I know there's other reviewers who their approach is different than mine. And okay, I did this one wrong. You can see all the, it makes almost like a perfect triangle because these 3 triangles actually face the opposite direction. So I need to flip them. Take a minute. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I'll flip one and I'll show you. So you can see now it's making that point stick out. So yeah. So anyway, we are just in a different, a lot of the stuff is arriving a little bit late right now. That's not always the case though. I feel like usually they're pretty good about it. But yeah, like I said, there are some people who their goal is to get published as soon as they can. And you have to dedicate time to filming. And if you're doing long form editing, like that's a whole other ballgame too, that just takes a ton of time as well. And so there's a lot of planning that goes into that. For me, since I use a lot of these for live streams, I don't care as much about the like it has to be out by a certain date per se. I know that means that fewer people are going to watch mine than they will others if they're like wanting to see the very first thing that's available. But I've also, like I said, I had to just release my stress around that and say I'm going to get to it when I get to it. and my community will form around our shared values and interests, and hopefully that'll be good. So thankfully with y'all, you've been so supportive and great. But I also know that I'm probably missing a lot of like maybe bigger audiences by not having stuff out on the very first moment I can. But I can't live that way. That's not going to work for me. It's too exhausting. So this is how it's working, and that's good. So I really enjoy it. Plus, my approach with reviews too is like I want to show the build process. I want to show techniques and things that are really interesting, and that's different than someone who's talking about the price per piece, and or talking about the ways that this fits into the larger lore of the storyline, or like there's all different approaches that we can each take for this. So yeah, I'll have to watch Jay Stiffers and just get a sense of how he does his. The other thing too is like sometimes I try not to watch too much of the other fan media stuff, not because I don't want to support them, because that's absolutely not the case, but more because I don't want it to become something that I end up mimicking or copying to where we all do things the exact same way. Like I would say Tuga Afols and we tend to have similar approaches and perspectives and vibes on things. And so I love watching their content, but I often am like, yep, that's how I would have done that one when they get a set that I didn't get or whatever too. So it's fun to see. So, and also very different too. Like I think our approaches still can be quite different from each other as well. So it's different there too, where like I've become very, very good friends with Simon and Dan. And so, I'll watch more of their stuff to support them because I know them personally really well. And honestly, part of the fun of going to fan media days was getting to know a lot of other creators that I was like, I've seen your name, I just haven't really watched your content much. And then after getting back from it, I started watching theirs more. And so that's been a lot of fun too. So, but yeah, with 130 of us, and that number is probably off in some ways, but with that many of us around the globe, like there's plenty of us plenty of different approaches for reviews, and there's not near enough time for any one person to watch everybody's stuff. Plus, there are plenty of people that aren't fan media that do incredible streams and incredible things, and have built and cultivated great communities. And once you factor all that in, it's like it is impossible to really watch everybody's stuff all the time, for sure. So my hope is that those who find me really connect with what I do, and that my friends that I am able to connect with theirs, that they also understand when I'm not always available all the time, and whatnot as well. So all right. Okay, so this is a bit of the beginning of bag 5, but here's bag 4. Really, really nice. I'm loving the luscious, full layers of all of these plant parts and the way that it's very organic. I'm loving this like curving moss type flowing everywhere all around the mushrooms. It's very satisfying. So street dates are all over the place. Totally true. There's so much that comes out. The volume of sets coming out all the time. It's a lot to keep track of. When people think that we get every single set, we don't, and I'm still overwhelmed. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much coming this month, and we tend to get like waves that happen with the big waves of when big releases come out too, and so that also results in things like I'm getting the Fortnite wave. My camera is currently balancing on 3 Disney sets that they sent last week. I have the Main Street set to do. Those are a fraction of the number of sets that are coming out in June. I have 2 more botanicals, right? So getting a ton of things, which is so wonderful. I'm so lucky, so grateful for that. But also, like, I'm glad that we don't get every single thing. That would be way too much. And it already can, if you're not careful, become something that can be not fun and can be just like really stressful if you're not careful with it. And so I also want to take care of my mental health and make sure that what I'm doing and what I'm accepting for review is something that's doable, that I can actually accomplish, and that I also am not going to go just like get exhausted by. So, because I want to have fun with it. I want to enjoy this hobby still. So, to be honest, I don't come here for review or the specific build, just interesting streams all around and fun. Some rely on the YouTube income, so it matters to the algorithm being up day one. I so appreciate hearing that. That makes me so happy. My goal here, I would love to get paid. I would love for YouTube algorithm to work in my favor, but it doesn't. And that's, I learned pretty quickly that my channel is not going to grow fast. And with the approach that I'm taking. And so I'm not getting monetized from YouTube. My monetization through Instagram is very minimal. It could maybe pay for 2 coffees last year. I'll tell you that much. So it's not like I'm getting a lot of funds there either. And that can be tough for sure, especially because I spend so much time on this. So I appreciate when people do support my account and the growth of my account, but I'm also not ridiculous in thinking that I'm going to be making millions off of this and whatnot either. So I'm aware of that hustle maybe not being the hustle I need to focus on. So that's where I enjoy also the blend of getting to do different things where, I have some projects that are art projects that I might get paid for, or have some consulting gigs and things that I can focus on. So it's a nice blend too. And then it also helps make sure that I really enjoy this space and that I really have a lot of fun with y'all. So, but it means a lot. It means so much to me that so many of you continue to come week by week and are very supportive and kind. It's a really, really great community. So thank you for the privilege of getting to share my space with you. And it's also just fun to see others support each other. And like, that's one of the things I love the most about the build challenges is how people become friends through it and learn from each other through it. And, my goal in my consulting work is to build creative and compassionate community and community leaders. And I see the work that I do with Lego in a very similar way. It's maybe not driving leadership within a workplace per se, but it is hopefully cultivating creative and compassionate people who can bring that to whatever communities they're in as well. So thank you all for being good people, because that's what motivates me to keep doing this as well. So especially when the world can be really hard and heavy at times, it's so refreshing to just know that we have such wonderful, loving people in this world. So I really, really value this space. Y'all, I'm getting all sappy. I blame you, Sean. You got me sappy. Let's see. If I'm awake and not busy, I try to support whoever is uploading stuff. I love that so much. And I know that there's a lot of people like yourself who are wonderful, wonderful streamers and supporters of other streamers. And I think that's where, for a while, I felt really guilty that I wasn't watching a lot of other people's streams. I felt like, it had to be tit for tat and whatnot. But the reality is I don't have the time. Because of the way that work goes and other life obligations and things. And we only have a limited amount of time in a day, right? And so I had to get over that and realize that, when I can support people, and that's great. And when I can't, hopefully they'll understand that I'm not always going to be able to be there. And similarly, like, I don't ever feel bad if someone's not here. Like, it's funny because some of y'all will message me and be like, I'm so sorry I missed this week. And I'm like, that's fine. It's life. Like, no stress at all. No worries at all. But I understand where that comes from, because I always can feel guilty or like, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to be there or whatever. So y'all, I got into rambling. I got really rambly. All right, so we've got these weird purple friends. In the middle, we have an orange crown, if you will. And we've got these purples. You're sacrificing housework to hang with me. Well, I appreciate that. And I hope everyone who relies on your housework appreciates that you do it anyway whenever you get around to it, because it should be a shared responsibility and not just yours. And hopefully it is. And I'm glad that I can give you distraction from housework. So this is the stamens and the crocuses get an almost regal glow with these Lego minifigure crowns. So fun. So, hi, Victor. Good to see you. Yeah, the purple is beautiful. This is that new purple color that came out this year. And I remember at Fan Media Days, this is one of the things I was most excited about, was this new purple and then the new pink. That's like almost a blend of pink and coral. The first sets that I got with those colors in them were some Disney Princess sets that they sent me for a review in January. But we saw a lot of sets, botanicals in particular, that introduced those colors at Fan Media Days, and I was so excited. So, and then we're getting these little. I like to call them clam shells. I don't know if that's really the right term, but they look like shells to me. And I always think of Ariel and the Little Mermaid for these. But we're getting them in yellow. I think they've existed in yellow before. Could be wrong. So, hi, Owen. Good to see you. Welcome. We are building, for anybody who's joined recently, we are building this beauty, the Woodland Mushrooms set. It's gorgeous. It's so fun so far, and it's a very organically shaped design, which is just fantastic. Lots of really cool techniques in it. So yeah, so that's what we're playing with. And I'm curious to know from y'all what you're up to. Is anybody building anything that they're really excited about or having fun with parts in new ways? Sean, I know you're preparing for Brick World Chicago. I'm sure others are as well. Mayo, do you go to any conventions? I think we've talked about this before, and I think you had said no, but I can't remember. Am I wrong with that? Also, with these shell pieces, you can twist them the way that they're attached, and so that allows for some different angles and things too. So that's really cool. Yay! Wait, you're going to Brick Slopes? Mayo, that's exciting. That's so exciting. Have you been before? That's really fun. I'm hopefully going to go. I don't know for sure yet because travel is expensive. And we've used a lot of our travel budget this year, but I'm really, really hoping to go this year. So knowing that you're going to be there brings me the most joy and makes me really hopeful that I can make it work. Because that would be so, so fun to finally get to meet you in person. That's really fun. Anybody else going to, I asked this earlier, but I only heard from Missy with her joke answer. Is anybody else going to Brick Rodeo? Okay, these are fun. They look so good. And this is the end of bag 5, so we've got 2 bags left. This is so satisfying, y'all. Really, really beautiful build. And also what's fun to me is you could probably easily just put a little light, like a tea light type light under here, and it would create a really interesting glow effect. I'll have to try that once we put it on our shelves and just see what it looks like. I'll, if I can find one, maybe I could try it while we're here on the stream. Although this room is very bright, so it may not show up all that well. But that could be really fun. All right. Sean, we finally got to your part that you've been asking about. These are medium nugget hats. And they are the exact hats that we saw with the 7 dwarves, which that set, y'all. Whew, that was such a joy to build. That was really, really fun one. But yeah, whoop, oh my gosh, no. So these were on the Build a Minifig section in our Lego store, but I don't think in this color. I think they were a different color. And here's to show you what it looks like. So they also came in the Medieval Village set. I think those are the first 2 times that I saw them, which I think those came out the same year, if I'm not mistaken. And I had the privilege and joy of getting to review both. So that was really fun to be like, oh my gosh, this part is going to be so useful. And I love that we're seeing it now in something that's not for minifigures, and a perfect use for it, in my opinion. So, wow, did not see them on the build a minifig in ours, but we got mushroom hats. That's fun. Yeah, we got the mushroom hats as well. I was thrilled because I think I only had one of the mushroom minifigure. And really wanted another one because I like to keep. I have a little shelf over here that has all the different layers of, or rows of the different minifigure series. It doesn't have every single one. It has room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on display at a time. Technically 6 because the top row could be as well, but I usually just use those 5. And so what I like to do is every time a new one comes out, I retire the bottom row, I move all of them down one, and then the newest one gets on top. And I am 2 series behind on updating that, so I need to update it because they're all sitting there waiting. That's a challenge of the like content creation game. Is like in my head, I'm like, I have to film the process of doing this, and I don't, but I want to because it's fun to share with y'all. It's really fun, and everybody every time goes, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get that cute display?" And I love being able to say, "Oh, my father-in-law made it because he's cool," and makes us really fun things. So he is a woodworker. It's his retirement hobby, and he is so good. He made that. I think that was the first Lego gift he made me. And then when I was on Lego Masters and that was announced officially, he made me a really fun sign for this room that is part of the needing to fix up this room. We have that to hang, and we also have another. There's 2 other Lego projects that he did that need to hang on the walls, as well as he did a minifigure out of wood, which is so fun. And that actually, it's across from me, so I can see it staring back at me, which is really nice. So anyway, that was a lot of rambling, but I think I was answering a question. I don't remember why that came about. Oh, I was talking about the mushroom hats. That's right. Mine was really nice, and I got 20 of the mushroom hats and the non-generic parts to the others in that series. That's awesome. That's really cool. If you're going to Brick Slips, I can add you to my selfie album, and if you have a sig fig, we can do trades. People always contact me about that stuff when I tell them I'm going. It's a fun experience. That makes me so happy. I don't typically do sig fig trades just because my sig figs, the parts that I chose for them are like stupid expensive. But I might have one that I could trade with you. I might suspend that rule to trade with you if I go. So hopefully I'll go. And if so, I'll see if I can track down enough of the parts to be able to get you one. So that'd be really cool. I have very few people who I've given my sig fig to. One is Jen, Brick Fan Builds, who's a dear, dear friend. And she has it because I was co-hosting and she wanted some of the parts. So she actually just asked, I think, for my face because she had the other parts in her stash for when she wanted to have our minifigs in the pictures. And I believe I gave one to Kate as well because we co-hosted Let's Build series a couple times. Oh, I can't find this part. Oh, I'm looking for the wrong color. I was looking for red, dark red, and it's actually reddish brown. Where is this? Here it is. Okay, I'm all over the place, y'all. So let's see. Brick World Chicago, they are collecting tokens and sig figs that people are wanting to give for the Make-A-Wish kid that is coming. That is so cool. Okay, I love that. We always do, the last handful of years, Philip and I have both done tokens. And I've actually done some content on like, what is a token and how do you create them and whatnot, because a lot of times people don't know. But it's been fun. The first couple of years we did one together. And then last year, Philip did his own, which was really fun because it used to be that like he and I would walk around and pick mocks together to share our tokens with. But he wanted his own, and rightfully so. So he did an Oscar last year, a little like statue of the Oscar Academy Award. And I did one of Alphaba because I was displaying my Wicked mock, my For Good mock from the Broadway show. as well as we had just had our Lego Master season where we had the episode of Wicked. So people knew us as big fans of Wicked. And also Philip and I had a Wicked book too. So I've got my tokens ready for rodeo. Yay! I actually don't. I need to think through what I'm bringing. I'm glad you said that because honestly, it hadn't crossed my mind yet. Just because time is not real. And it's hard for me to think that far ahead right now with everything. So I finally got around to registering our mocks, and Philip and I did that together so that we would make sure that like our collaborative mock was registered and then also his own ones were too. So I need to remind him because he has one more that he needs to register, which I think June 1st is the deadline, right? Oh, Mayo, that's so fun. Have you been before? I don't remember if I asked that or if you answered. Maybe you did. Let's see. I don't see it there. Oh, wait. I missed some other things. Let's see. Shanta's working on a tread track for Inside Anger. It's been causing consternation and broken 4 3D printed axles, but I think I'm close. Okay, I can't wait to see it. Your mock of Anger from Inside Out was so cool. And I really wish that we were going to Chicago so that I could see it in person. But that's really cool. Bev says, nope, not doing it. You will have to swing by and pick up Missy. I don't know what that refers to. I'm sorry. That was my failure of missing it. Was that the housework? Maybe? Let's see. Hector says rebuilding. Everyone is awesome set. So that it's ready for Pride Month. Yay! Mine is there. You can't see it. It's just above. You see the waffle? It's just above the waffle on the shelf above that. And it has all of my classic space figures on it, which is fun. And then what else do we have? Owen says we have a lot of brick events here in the UK. That's so fun. Which ones have you been to? Philip and I went to Scareback in Denmark last year, but that's the closest we've been to any in the UK. So there, I think I caught up on the chat from what I missed from before. Sorry about that. Sean says, just shared my mini Sylvester head token on the Discord. Yay! My store got the eyes with long ovals to use with the regular eyes. Oh, that's perfect. That is like perfect timing. I need to add coral to my Every Space is Awesome display. Nice. And then was a tease about Brick Rodeo. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I clearly missed something. Yeah, and again, I think that's part of the like cameras here, chat is here, build is here. I'm everywhere, all over the place. All right. Okay. Back to the build, y'all. Back to the build. Back to life. Back to reality. Do you all sing when you build by yourselves? Or is that just me? I sing all the time. Philip gets to hear it all the time. Sorry, not sorry. But I don't sing when I'm streaming usually. Music is such a huge part of my life. Always has been and probably always will be, hopefully. And so I usually have to have something playing, if not singing or singing along to it, typically. And yeah, because I've been doing so much the streaming lately, I haven't been listening to music as much, which has been just weird for me because I feel like it's usually like I have something on nonstop. Although my brain always has a soundtrack playing anyway, so I hear the music regardless if it's playing or not. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we're making a little kind of front area here. It looks like maybe part of a tree stump that was taken down. Excited to see what it'll look like once we get it all built. Interesting part usage to create some what looks to me like tree roots. So I'll show you once I have one of them built. Let's see. Also would love some feedback on your thoughts on like how the camera working in here is working in this room and whatnot too, since I'm shifting kind of where I'm at and shifting where the camera is angled and such. I want to make sure that it's a good experience for y'all. Okay, so here's what we have. You can see, let's see, if I do this, there we go. We've got, it's kind of hard to tell because of the colors, but we have 2 jumper plates with a angled piece on top of that and then a cheese wedge on top. And then that's going to go sideways attached to this little bracket here and look like that. And then beside it, we are going to use studs up with 2 of these sloped pieces. So it's creating kind of like different tree roots, right? A little bit. So, and then I think I have another one of those like multiple piece sections to do beside it as well. So, and after this one, there's 1 bag left for this build. The other 2 botanical sets I have are the water lilies and the cosmos. And those are much smaller sets, but also very beautiful. I was thrilled about both because we got to see Monet's water lilies in Paris and built the water lily set. So I thought this will be really nice to display near that once we get it on the wall. But then also the cosmos are the plants that I have in front of my Animal Crossing house. So it's like, oh my gosh. And in like pinks and whites, which is really fun. So so that made me excited about that too. It's the little things in life, y'all. For those who came to the Lego Masters stream on Monday, were there any questions that you wanted to ask but didn't get to ask because of time? And depending on what you ask, I may answer now or I may save them for future. So depends. I usually have a movie on that matches the set I'm building. Nice. We do that a lot too. Or nice relaxing instrumental music when doing builds. That's fun. Yeah, Hector, it doesn't surprise me that you're watching movies while you're building. I fully expect that from y'all. I think you two approach life in a similar way to Philip and I, which is a lot of fun. There's so many times that I'm like, I wish we lived in the same area. It'd be fun to just hang out because I think we'd get along really well in person too. So, or maybe we'd hate each other. Maybe it would just be like, the worst. That's probably more true, I'm sure. But yeah, no surprise there about the movies. That's fun. Let's see. Interesting techniques here. Oh yeah, so it looks like we're making like an interesting tree trunk type thing. So I think the camera angle looks good. Okay, good. So like I said, depending on if I upgrade to a streaming platform like StreamYard, where I can use multiple camera angles, I could have this like more angled closely to the build and then have another front-facing camera. I did that before, like last year, I think, and just used my cell phone and the front-facing camera on the laptop, and it worked okay. But the quality was never great because I didn't have a subscription to those services. And I don't really want to pay for one, to be honest. It's kind of expensive. But the amount of time I stream, I'm like, well, maybe it'd be worth it. But you all saw, if you were here on Monday, like the quality of how that worked with having guests on. And I think it worked fine for that type of thing, you know? I don't think those type of YouTube streams need a super nice camera setup. Although it's obviously nicer is always better. It doesn't necessarily always have to be that way though. So, okay, so we're attaching to this some different bricks or plates that are going to help us angle the sides of the tree to make it more rounded as opposed to just squared off. So that's a nice, interesting technique that we're doing here. Unrelated, but when I go to Montreal, one of the things that I want to do during my talk is to record it, because I would like to be able to upload that to YouTube later too. So I need to double check with them to make sure that that's okay and something they'd be comfortable with. And then if so, I need to figure out my plan for the setup of that to make sure that it's good quality and not too much to have to worry about while I'm there. But I'm really, really excited for that opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun. So. For the June 1st release sets, what are y'all most excited about? Are there any that are just screaming out to you? Definitely not hate. We would definitely get along fine. You think so? I think so too. I think that's probably pretty true. uh, and I would also say Philip is a very great human and so much fun. He gets really shy with new people, new to him people. He can be really shy at first, and it's just so interesting because he's pretty gregarious and bold, but it's just like that's him when you first meet him, which is fun. So I could talk to anybody. I could talk to the wall and be happy. So I tend to be very talkative and such, and I love meeting new people. But I'm also an introvert, and it can be exhausting, even though it's fun. So, all right, this is super satisfying, y'all. So we are adding on these slider type pieces. I can't remember the rails, I think, right? The plates with the rails. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Focus on my hand. There we go. And that rail we're putting off to the right, and that way it kind of overlaps over the next plates beside them. And it's going to create a nice little rounded texture there. So let's see. Mine for the general group, and I think it was somewhat answered, and now I can't find it on the stream. A favorite thing post Lego Masters that people have done that being on the show unlocked. Ooh, I love that question. That's a great question. For me personally, okay, wait. Oh, shoot. I'm missing a piece, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be missing that piece. Give me just a second, and then I'll actually answer your question. Like, blah, just kidding. Okay, I'm missing. Where's it? Here we go. For me, Lego Masters, I'm going to speak a little bit more. I'm trying to think of the word. Esoterically? Maybe? Conceptually? Emotionally? One of those things. For me, Lego Masters unlocked my self-confidence. I came into that show feeling good about my build abilities, but feeling mostly like I had so much more room to grow and wasn't necessarily good enough to be on the show. And I really surprised myself in what I was able to do. But I also, because of John, honestly, learned what it meant to be proud of myself without feeling like I was being cocky. I grew up in a family that taught me that humility was of the utmost importance. And I think that's a really important life lesson. But what it also, unfortunately, didn't teach me is what pride can look like and how being proud of yourself and proud of your accomplishments is not a bad thing. And it's not a boastful, prideful, evil thing, but it's actually a healthy and important life skill and something that we all need to be able to do. And it took me so much unlearning to hit that point of being able to say, you know what, I am good at this stuff. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong or rude or evil or cocky or bad about saying that. And in saying that, it doesn't mean that I am done and fully formed and have no more room to grow. I used to think that a growth mindset was in conflict with pride. And now what I think is that a growth mindset is in conflict with cockiness. But those are different things. And so the show helped me find my voice and self-confidence in a way that really changed my life. Um, so yeah, that's my short answer, long answer. That's my answer to your question. I hope that was a good answer. I feel like I'm on Miss America, and that's my answer to the big question in the interview portion, which is funny because I've never watched a Miss America pageant in my life. But I feel like I'm on a pageant right now and asked the tough questions. No, it really, really shifted something for me. And I've always been one to prop up other people and support other people and help other people grow in their confidence. That just came naturally to me, but I wasn't modeling it for other people because I wasn't living it myself. And this shifted something in me, um, which has been awesome because it also shifted something in me that affects my work in such a cool way. Like now I approach leadership development and growth of other people in a way that I think is more authentic and real because I'm also living some of those things myself. And once again, I also still own that I believe it's important to have a growth mindset and continue to grow and never see yourself as fully finished. Uh, but it's also important to celebrate the wins along the way. And it's important to speak up for yourself. And that was another thing I really gained from, especially from working and partnering with John. So, okay, here is a really interesting organically shaped tree trunk with some things sticking out that are like mushrooms that are like growing out of the edges as well, which is really, really fun. She just said, "Sorry, I don't understand," because she thought I was talking to her, but I'm not. I'm not talking to you. Leave me alone, silly watch. Okay, what do I have here? I want Minas Tirith, and the dust mark. What is the dust mark? Keep. It's pre-order. Sorry, I don't know what the dust mark keep is, and I feel like I should. It's pre-order only June 9th as well. Voting closed for the next series, so you get to find out at Chicago. I'm so excited. I can't wait to find out, and hopefully celebrate. That'll be fun. The Leaping Carp is a June 1st set that I want. That one looks beautiful for sure. Duskmark Keep is Bricklink Designer Program. Thank you. Sorry, I the name was not sticking out to me, but I now know what you're talking about. Okay, so there's more that goes to this. Oh, this is fun. Okay, y'all, this is gonna be really fun. Okay, so now we have on top of this. Gosh, you got me talking real deep stuff, and now I'm real lost as to what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. It was funny when we were rewatching the episode. I remembered that during that episode, during the Star Wars episode, I kept thinking, "We're going home. We're going home for sure. We're in the bottom two." I don't know why. I was like so convinced that we didn't do enough, that it wasn't good enough, that the risks that we took were too risky, and I just was in this really bad headspace for that episode. And I was having fun. I was having a lot of fun, but I was very much like preparing myself for like that. Well, that was fun. Oh well, it's over. And I watched the episode last year when we were watching it live, and I was like, wow, ours was really good. Like, we did a really good job. That was so much fun, and I'm much more impressed with it than I thought I was. Okay, this is fun. So this technique we're repeating over and over again. We are using this piece first, which is that like interesting bracket piece. Then we attach. No, it keeps thinking I'm talking to it. Then we attach this guy like so. Okay. Once we have that, we cover up the rounded part with this tile. Then we overlap it, or not overlap, we go off to the other side with this other round tile, and it creates like these little stair step type mushroom pieces. Do it 4 times, and then we patched up all around this in a really fun way. Anyway, rewatching the episode, I was like, or watching the episode for the first time last year, I remember just being so much more impressed with what we did than when we were there. Because when we were there, I was so hyper focused on what didn't we finish in time? What didn't we get to polish and clean up and tidy and make things perfect? How much more could we have done had we had more time? Because we had very little time. Our episodes, our challenges were super short. And it is true. We could have done a lot more, and we could have improved some things, and we could have done better. And also, it's true that we did a really good job. So it was really fun to relive that experience, but also to be like, yeah, I don't know why I was so down on on myself, because we did a good job, and that's all I can say. Like, I should be happy with that. So. Okay, this is really fun. Once I get these on, I'm so excited to show you how these look. All right, so it creates that like very natural looking stair step type mushrooms growing out of a tree trunk thing. That's really cool. So cool. All right, so this is sliding off. I need to pull that up a little bit more, I think. There we go. All right, this is going to go. Interesting. So it shows that that little stair step type mushroom part almost gets hidden underneath this yellow. That is something that I don't know that I agree with that design choice. But there will be some other things sticking out. So maybe after I get those on, it'll make more sense. But it feels like it got tucked away almost too much to me. Okay, the next part is using the minifigure hat things. And this says, the common bonnet with its delicate cap and slender stem looks like it's been plucked straight from the pages of a fairy tale. Their tops are made with Lego dwarf minifigure hats. That's so fun. So these common bonnets are built with 3 pieces. So we have the candlestick and the ice cream cone. And then on top goes the dwarf's cap. So cute. Cool. All right. These are going to attach to all of these different things that are sticking out. And it's fun because they can all go at different angles too. Honestly, I love builds like that where everybody's build at home, even though you could try and match it perfectly to the picture, they're all going to look a little bit different. And I love that. I think it's even more fun when designing like floral type botanical sets. And honestly, these techniques are so fun. It'd be really neat to get maybe 2 of these sets and to try to build something completely different, like a different orientation and structure of all these, but using the same parts to make the same types of mushrooms and stuff, and just see what comes from it. Or maybe designing new mushrooms that can go in it too. So I think that's something that a lot of times when people talk about mocking, they miss the joy of modifying sets too. There's so much fun that can happen by taking a set and modifying it and rebuilding different portions of it or changing some things up. And I think sometimes people can also feel guilty that like they used a real set thing in their mock and it's like, well, I didn't do that part. And it's like, well, that's fine. You still built some things out of your own brain. That's really cool. So, all right, now that I have them all in, I'll twist them around a little bit to give them a little more depth. All right. That's so fun. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I don't feel as bad about it being hidden away there now because you still see it, which is good. So I think it's just because I was looking at it almost from the side that I wasn't seeing as much that you're able to notice from kind of looking down on it. All right, that is bag 6. Let's do bag 7. We're getting another very large mushroom with another one, another cap. And we're getting these beautiful fern pieces. So these are the doubled up ones that have 2 studs on them that are much larger. And we're also getting it in the smaller 1 stud size here too, in the lime green, which I think that's the first introduction of lime green for the set. So that's going to be a nice, satisfying addition as well. All right. And we're getting bright green. So we're getting all the greens in this. I think the only one we didn't get was, there's like one other green. We had sand green. There's one other green that's very nature-like, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's not in this set. So, yeah, the set uses lots of beautiful colors, though. This is cool. All right, let me keep building. I got real distracted. For me, the June 1st sets that I really wanted were Shrek, which I got through the review process. This set, the mushroom set, Disneyland Main Street, which I'm so excited to build soon. The Darth Vader buildable figure, which I get to build soon as well. And then the Fortnite sets. So like I lucked out this time for sure with getting a lot of the ones that were on my wish list. And there's plenty more that are on my wish list that I want that I didn't get. So one that I will for sure be buying that I cannot wait for is the Big Apple. That one we got to see revealed at Fan Media Days, and I was over the moon excited because we go to New York, not often, but that's like a place we've been to a number of times. Obviously, huge love of Broadway and theater. And so that one is a must have for us. So that's going on my wish list. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then there's one more on top. 7, and then this guy. So that's another one that's like on my wish list that I'll eventually get and buy. And there was another, I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, that I was really excited for as well. But oops, I jumped the gun with this. It's not supposed to go on yet. I need to actually open the LEGO website and look at all the things that were revealed, because there's a lot more that I know I'm missing from that wish list. Okay. Why is that not going in? Okay. All right, there we go. Wait a minute. This won't fit. Something is wrong here. Let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. This yellow axle piece, I don't know if it's not going on all the way, but it's making it so that this mushroom cap is not wanting to go all the way on. Did I miss a piece in here? Maybe the brown part is supposed to stick up? Oh! There's something else that goes on first. Okay. Y'all. I was going to say, this isn't fitting. Like you can hear it's loose. It wasn't fitting on right. And that's because I was jumping the gun and I missed a very important piece, which is the gills part of it. So we built that twice in this set. Of course, it's on both with the bricks and plates, but also on this axle. So there we go. Okay. So got those on, got these on separate. Getting tired, y'all. Okay. So let's do more of these gills. Now I want to do them the other orientation like Sean had suggested. Be fun to see if it like looks totally different. But I'm not going to do that because it's a lot of time intensive work that would have to be undone. So if you get this set, you can do it and tell me what you think. All right. There's randomly 2 more black axles here, and I don't know what they'll be used for. Oh, yes, I do. Never mind. It looks like there's all these pieces too. Whoops, there's the camera. There's all these pieces that have the axle hole, so those must be like layered on them, and that's probably what this is going to attach to. I'll have to wait and see. Okay. There's got to be one more. Here it is. Okay, I was like, there's a missing spot. Okay. Yay. Put this on. Now it fits right. Then we're going to slide it on here. And this time, I'm actually not going to push it up. I'm curious on your thoughts. Should this be pushed up underneath or not? Like, I kind of think it should, but it doesn't show to do. Oh, no, it does. It's hard to tell. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, it shows to push them up. I was going to say, I feel like it needs to, but it doesn't show that, but it does. All right. Y'all, that's really satisfying. That's really, really cool. Okay, so we have this big guy, and it's going to be the tall one. And this one will go, where will it go? Ah, back there. Okay, so we're going to flip this around. That going this way. This one's going to go like so. Oops. Okay, whoops. That got caught underneath. Let me lift that up. There we go. All right. So now we've got all of the big mushrooms on at all different angles. Just so satisfying. And we're going to do 2 of these fern pieces. Okay, this is cool. This is really cool. I'm excited to show you this. Okay. Starting with the round ball at the top that I call the bowling ball. So we're going to do that on top. And I'm going to build both at the same time. Then we do a whole bunch of these. So we've got these little round spacers. And then we get the light green, very, very light green. I can't remember what you call that one. Bushing. Then let's do that side too. So 2 round spacers and a bushing. Then we get these guys, the plus shape ones. For June releases, definitely excited for the Disney Main Street set, the 2 Stitch sets, the 3 botanical sets, Lego Friends Forest Cabin. Oh my gosh, I need to look up the Friends. Those are ones I always love, and I haven't seen any of them yet. The City Beach Tram and the Fortnite roller coaster. Okay, you've got a few. I love this. I love this so much for you, Hector. I'm very excited about the roller coaster. That one will be a lot of fun to build. So that's one that's coming in the wave of sets. I think there's 4. So I get the tomato head, the roller coaster, the Mac, and I can't remember the 4th one off the top of my head. But the roller coaster was the one I was most excited about in that wave. Okay, and then we do alternating 4 of these with bushings. So one of those. Okay, this is really cool. Oh, this is also, like, this alone would be a really beautiful build just to do some ferns. I'm excited for you to see this once we get the, well, I'm excited to see it myself as well once we get all these parts on. So those are all great sets and a lot to be excited about, which is fun. So 1, 2, got 2 more. 3. 4. 1 more bushing. So also, even though this will be hidden away, we also get this very light green color too. It's not going to be all that visible. And then we put on a cone at the end. Bless you, Penny. Don't know if you can hear her. She's coughing a lot. Unfortunately, that's been the thing lately, but she's doing okay. So, all right. So now that we have these 2 things, we've got those balls at the end are actually going to be the things that attach to the ball joints. These are the balls for those cups. And I was actually thinking we were building it the opposite direction. So it's kind of fun to see that that's not the case. Then I'm going to build from the top down to show you. It's opposite of what it says to do, but that's okay. So you do these like so, and we're going to keep alternating that, or we're going to keep doing that all the way down with the short ones down to here, and then use big ones at the bottom. I kind of wish these extended a little bit further out. I wonder if they played with that a little bit, because I feel like it could have. But they also would maybe have had to create another fern type piece for it. And you can angle these actually to make it do that a little bit more too. So I think that's maybe their intention here. Yeah, that's definitely their intention. So good girl. I think she needs a little bit more water. So let me step away to get that for her, as a good Poppy Papa would. All right. That is so cool, though. Okay, please hold while I grab some water for Penny. Please hold. I think you can still hear me as I walk in the other room. Hey, girl. Oh, she's got some. She's good. Okay. She's on a medicine that makes her drink more, which also makes her pee more. And she's had some mistakes in the house lately, and that's been a little frustrating. Because we know it's not her fault. She's not doing it on purpose, but it still can be really annoying to have to clean the carpets over and over and over again. So, poor little lady. She's had a rough go at it lately. Yeah, once we curve these in, it actually does create that like effect of it kind of getting wider as you go. So my original comment, I don't stand by anymore. So cool. The top one feels a little weird to me because it's like so curved down, but I'm not mad about it per se. That's a phrase I got from Philip. I'm not mad about it. Very much something he says a lot. Also, it's so funny to me how there are so many things that I notice I'll say, and I'm like, ugh, that was definitely from Philip. Okay, look, y'all. This is so cool. These look amazing. These look so good. And now I want to make a whole bunch of them and do some different like foliage and stuff with them, because I think you could do so much with them for sure. All right, so these clip in here. And then since they're on ball joints, they can rotate and angle a little bit. Just so nice. All right, y'all. We're done. This is it. Here's the final look. Let me hold the background up for y'all to hopefully see more. I don't know if that helps at all. Anyway, really, really nice design. I'm loving all of these different mushrooms. Such a cool set. This is really, really pretty. I'll flip it around so you can see the back side. So it's not quite a 360 build, but that's fine. This makes sense that this would go like against the back of your bookshelf or whatever. I'm excited to try putting a light under there and just seeing what happens if we can make it look like a glowing forest floor. But this is so cool. I'm very, very pleased with this one. Yay! Okay, that was fun. That was really fun. It becomes available June 1st. Full of amazing parts. Let me look up the details real quick. I had it up earlier. Actually, I think I already closed it because I closed a whole bunch of tabs before I went live. Where? Oh, here we go. So this one comes out. Where is it on my list? Woodland Mushrooms. It's $79.99, 806 pieces. Comes out on the 1st, and yeah, it's set number 11505. And then the water lilies and cosmo flowers also come out on the 1st. Water lilies are $30 and cosmo flowers are $15. So let me grab the boxes for those two sets real quick to show you. So water lilies, it's got about double the pieces that the cosmos do. And here are the cosmos. Oh no! It fell. So here are the cosmos. The water lilies, you design your own. My goodness, that box is misshapen. You design the actual base that it sits in, so that's kind of fun. And the cosmos are ones that need to go in to a base. So I think, what time is it? It's 4:45. So you know what? Let's build one of these, shall we? Which one do y'all think? Maybe I'll just build. I think I'll start with the cosmos, see where we get. I may get to one of the water lilies, one of the little ones, but or one of the two. I love the colors for them; they're really pretty. Yeah, let's dive into this one. It's the cosmos that'll go perfectly next to my Animal Crossing house, which is right above my thumb. It's interesting. This is the first time their not for sale sticker covered up the finger punch thing that I normally push and open the boxes. So I'll just have to use a brick separator. All right. So it has 171 pieces, I think. Yeah. And I think it's $15. So yeah, cool. We will dive in. Pretty small instruction book. It looks like the 3 flowers are going to be very similar. I'm going to just check ahead, see if that's true. So yep. Yeah. Okay. So the 3 flowers are the exact same build with different colors for the petals, which isn't a big surprise there. And then their stems and leaves and other pieces are a little bit unique to themselves. So they all use the same bright green stem, which is a nice axle color to have. So I do like that. But I may try to build. I don't normally do this, but I may open multiple bags at once and try to build the flowers at the same time. Or maybe I'll at least get through this part first and then open the next bag. So I saw on maybe it was Brick Post. Someone was posting something about a new vase, and I would love to have a beautiful vase that I use specifically for Lego. I don't currently, and we have a couple different vases or mason jars that we'll use to like hold them in together, but I kind of want to just pick one or two and swap out the flowers throughout the year, because right now we have them everywhere around the house and they're all different seasons and all different varieties, and so it's pretty, but I don't know that we need all of them open all the time. So all right, so for attaching these petals, we are using a minifigure posing piece and a clip with these shields. So we've got the we've got the shield here. And you can see on the back of the shield, of course, we've got that little bar that a minifigure could hold on to. But the underside of these minifigure posing pieces fits perfectly in there, like so. And then you can attach a clip to the other end of it, like so. And that way those clips can clip on to these. So we'll do one. And then you're going to do that 8 times around the outside edge. So pretty and easy. The instructions set it up to where the first bag is one set, this darker pink color or magenta color. And then the second bag has the other two. So the lighter pink, which I guess it's like a medium pink color, and white, which are all really pretty. The last bag then does the other flower that comes with the set too. So kind of surprised that we don't have these as 3 separate bags, given that it's the exact same amount of parts for each flower. Even though the stems are a little bit different for each one, I feel like they could have done 4 bags potentially. But, you know, no worries. I'm also kind of surprised that the instructions aren't build together instructions, in that it's all one book. But I know the website, you know, you can always have multiple people looking at the digital instructions at the same time, to where one person could have bag 2 and be building those 2 plants at the same time. So, okay, come on, Slayton. There we go. All right, my watch says it's time to stand. And I'm saying, no, I refuse. I'm going to keep sitting and building. Thank you very much. Hi, Mighty Morphin J. Good to see you. No worries being late. You're on time. You're good. The mushroom set is gorgeous, and that was such a satisfying and fun build. So, but happy to have you and curious on your thoughts on Lego Botanicals. Do you like them? Do you want more variety? Do you hate them? Do you not have any care in the world about them? Okay, and these cosmos are designed so that you can say, he loves me not. Just kidding. Which, because they're even numbered, if you start with he loves me, he's always going to love you not. So I suggest not doing that, because I feel like you usually start it with he loves me. All right, here we go. It's pretty. I don't have it exactly perfectly aligned, and I kind of like that because it makes the petals stand out a little bit more differently, and I think that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Okay. And then this first one, angles on. Like so. And there's more to it, but I'm going to open the other ones and do the flowers first, and then I'll come back and do the petals. So, for no reason, just because I want to. So, now I know how to game the system. I've only recently made my first botanical flowers at a Texlag event where we made a flower wall. Those pieces were so intricate. Yeah, and so fun, right? I really love the botanicals, but they are very intricate, and they're also delicate and can fall apart pretty easily too. I'm very excited to see the flower wall and see how that all turned out, because I know that a lot of people were working on it together, and it's a lot of work, but a lot of fun. So, This is a little bit of a tedious project the way that I'm doing it, because I'm just doing it where like I repeat the exact same step over and over and over again. But that's how I wanted to do this one. I think in part because then I don't have to think about what I'm doing, and it makes it easier to talk while I'm building. So yeah. I know who you are, Mighty Morphin J, and I don't know who you are based on your name. So can you remind me? Apologies. Oh, no, I know who you are. This is Enrique, right? I'm sorry. I did this last time too. I don't lock it in my brain with the YouTube names for some reason. The other day I called Bev Missy and Missy Bev, and I know you, and I know your names and everything, and I just got confused. That's what I thought. Thank you and sorry. And you know what's going to happen? You're probably going to join again, and I'm going to be like, hey, I don't remember who this is, even though I do. I just have the worst. My brain does not want to work sometimes. What plants do you remember doing for the flower wall? If you remember, the peace lily has been the bane of my collection. Really, the large leaves fall off when moving. The vase thing falls off when gripped from the top to the bottom as well. Interesting. That's one that we didn't get for review, and that I really wanted because they showed us at Fan Media Days, and it's so pretty. But we don't have. We're running out of space over here, y'all, and that's a big one. So we have the Bird of Paradise, which also takes up about that same amount of space, and it's gorgeous. And we always struggle finding the right spot for it because of not having a lot of room around the house. So, LOL, I have different names on each platform, so you're not making it easy. That's true. I'm going to blame you. It's your fault. How dare you? How dare you be creative with your names? It's funny because someone else was in the stream on Monday, and it was the same thing. And I was like, I feel like I know you, but I don't know you. And they were like, that's because I'm a different name on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Let's see here. LOL. Let's see. It was a daisy that's had about 1,000,000 minifig fins. Really, that's fun. And that I helped an attendee build a rose, which had this beautiful overlapping design, but it was tough to nail the look. There's a lot of detail work in them to make them look right. I was just talking about that with this first flower that I don't have all of the petals aligned perfectly, and it looks a little wonky, but I kind of like it that way because it looks a little bit more organic. But it might actually look better if I fix it. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep doing this. So, all right, almost done prepping these. I think this is the last one. Okay, so now we will put on the clips. Well, okay, yeah, that's on. I'm excited to see the flower wall in person. I was wanting to experience the event where we were helping people make it, and I didn't actually know about it because I'm not great at reading my emails for TextLug. I usually rely more on the Discord, which I know is bad, and shame on me for not doing it right. But that's true. That's my truth, y'all. And yeah, I saw my calendar that there were some events on it for TextLug flower things, and I was like, oh, that's neat. I'm gonna miss it. That's a bummer. So I'm excited to see though, because it'll be at Rodeo, right? It'll be like a photo wall. I got to experience the Lego office where the creatives work, the art department, when I was there in Denmark in September. Philip and I got to go in there and have lunch with our friend Bianca, who was one of the creatives that worked, creative directors that worked on the Wicked project that I worked on. And so she met us. It was so fun. And it was just good to see her too and meet her in person. But they have a flower wall in there too. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. So cool. All right, and now we build the bases. I'm doing this all out of order, and that's okay. Sing my song. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me get these guys. And these guys. And those guys. Yes, the flower wall will be at rodeo. Yay! Hi, Jake. Jay Kusanamics? Jay Kusanamics? JK Usanamics? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but hi, welcome. I'm glad you love Lego. We do too over here. We're big, big fans. I just finished building today, which I think a few of you might have joined since I finished this, but the beautiful woodland mushroom set. So this one becomes available June 1st, which is so cool and it's so pretty. I love these fern leaves on the edges. I think that's really cool. There's a lot of really great detail in here, though, and it's very organically shaped. And now I'm working on the cosmos, which are the beautiful flowers that come in this smaller set that's also available June 1st. So having some fun with botanicals. All right, now let's clip on all of these different petals for the pink and the white one. And I was wrong. I misspoke when I said that it was the medium pink. It's actually the light pink. So the three colors you get are pink, white, and magenta. Which types of sets do you like to build? All right, here's the pink one. So pretty. This would make for a beautiful boutonniere. These would be really, really fun for boutonnieres. We didn't use Lego in our wedding for like boutonnieres and flowers and stuff. It was before the botanical lines were out. We did papercraft, so it was all paper flowers and then real succulents. And we combined, Philip actually combined paper elements and succulents for our two boutonnieres, which was really fun. So that was a really nice touch to have both living and paper ones together. And then also now we own all the paper products because we built, designed, and made all of the paper stuff. So it's fun to have all those decorations to decorate our house with when we want to relive elements of our wedding. So here's the white one, very much like a daisy. Hi, Cam. Today I learned cosmos are a type of flower. Right? So fun. I learned that because of Animal Crossing, because they are the plants that are out front of my house on Animal Crossing. And my house is right above this finger. That is my Animal Crossing house. And I built that in January. I don't think it has cosmos in front of it because it was wintertime. So that, I didn't have the plants, I don't think. I'll have to look and see in a second. I think I added some tulips in front of it instead. But yeah, in the game, I actually use the cosmos. So that's when I first learned about them. And then I was so excited to find out that they were coming out as a botanical set. All right, here is this the end of the... Yeah. Here's the end of our first one. It uses those wolverine claws for the petals, or for the leaves, which is fun because it gives like a different vibe for leaves than what we're used to seeing. That's really pretty. We've got that one, and then I just did the pink and the white, so let's get the stems on those guys. The pink one, it looks like the stem is going to go straight up, so it's not going to curve down like the other one did, and then it's going to be taller as we attach these pieces together. And this one actually doesn't have any, almost said feathers, any leaves on it. So that one's just simple. I need a little vase around here. And then the white one has even more fun detail on the sides of it. So there's a little bud that's sticking off the side of it. So this is going to go like so. Oops. Let me take the big stem, put that on the bottom, and here we add more fun. So we're going to add one leaf like we did for the magenta one. Some more green wolverine claws, which we've used these for wreaths for some of our builds, and for garland for some of our builds at Christmas time. Philip makes good use of these parts. All right, so we've got one leaf here, but then there's even more fun. We take this curved piece, which is a great piece to have in green for floral stems. I think we have it in green, brown, and clear right now. I want to look. I think the green that we have, though, is sand green. So this is the first time that we're getting in that bright green, which I actually prefer that over the sand green for sure. And then here's the little bud. Right. So we get that little bud that's essentially the bowling ball inside there. This is going to slide up the edge here. Ugh, if I can get it to go. There we go. I'm going to lower it a little bit. And actually, I'm going to rotate it too. It's a little bit too wonky. There we go. All right. There's the third one, the white one. That's really cool. So Kim says, hey, how's it going? I'm dying to build that mushroom set and add it to my Mushroom Village sets from Jonas Kramer. Right? It's so cool. Really nice part usage for the leaf. Yeah, I love it. It's really cool. Which piece with green were you asking about? I think, well, I was talking about this one, this curved one here. I think it's the first time that it comes in bright green. It's we have it in sand green, but I don't have it in the bright green. So that might be what I was talking about, unless I was talking about something else, in which case I forgot. So yeah. All right, those are the 3 cosmos. And this one also gets a little bit of height with this little guy. So they can stand together in a vase. And then bag 3, ding, we build other things. Oh, y'all, actually, this is kind of fun. Speaking of paper crafts, so Lego has been my thing for more than a decade, but from 2012 to 2017, I worked at a papercraft store and taught workshops for papercraft. And I just noticed, I forgot that I moved this over here. It's very dusty. But you can see there is a papercraft collection of cacti and succulents in here. And this is from one of the classes that I taught, probably in 2013 or 2014. So I've had that for a very long time. Whew, that's filthy. I need to really clean that out. But it's one of my little things that I like to have on my desk as a reminder of the other type of art that I like to, or of other types of art that I like to do too. So I have huge papercraft blossom flowers on the wall that I'm looking at too. So, and then all kinds of art from paper calendars and things that I have all up over there, actually. It's really fun. So that's a little fun note for me. Let's see, which piece? Okay, and then it came in the flower wall and the bright green, as well as that picture frame gift with purchase. I have it then. I just haven't built the picture frame gift with purchase yet. And the flower wall, yeah, it did. I forgot that we have that piece in that set. That is a beautiful one. Lego sent us 2 of them to be able to play with and show how you can combine them in different ways. And we combine them to be a square right now, but I want to adjust it to be an L shape and to have it as an L over the corner of our TV once we get the TV mounted. So I'm excited to eventually get around to doing that. All right, with these remaining pieces, we are going to form these little tiny strip of flowers. I don't know what you would call these, but there are a lot of parts in them. Let's see. They're magenta, which I love. Cam, what review sets have you been working on? So glad you're here again. It's fun to see you whenever you're able to. I know you've got your work life typically during the weekdays, which makes perfect sense. So I know this is not always an ideal time for people to join, but I love when you're able to have a break and hang out a little bit. So All right, this is cool. So it's using dark red and magenta together. Oh, and then a little tulip here. With bright pink. Okay there. Pretty cool, pretty sleek. All right, there's one. And then you make it longer with more of these gold pieces, so that it'll be tall in the vase. So that would stand like so. Here's what it looks like. You just built Luigi with the card. Oh my gosh, such a cool set. And I'm sorting Lego right now. I had to set up shelves today to display some stuff. Cool. It's on my Instagram. Can't wait to see it. Are you going to Chicago? I'm not. I really wish I was. It's on the list to eventually do. It's just, there's too much. And money's tight right now with travel. So I'm hoping to make it to Brick Slopes. I've gone the last 2 years and love it, but that one I'm also on the fence for. So we shall see. I will keep you posted if, well, I won't be going to I won't be going to Chicago. I was going to say I'll keep you posted, but that's not true because I won't be going. So, but I'm glad for you that you're going. I'm excited. It's supposed to be a really good experience. My friend Sean, who's on here, Alphonse Bricks, he'll be there, and I'm sure some others too. If you're going to be there, say hi to Cam and give them a big hug for me because I love them. They're wonderful, great people. Okay. So this is very simple, just like slide the pieces on one after the other over and over again. It's very repetitive with this build, but it's going to look really nice, which is good. So, and then we attach the curved piece. Oh, whoops, I think I skipped one. I did. Okay, now we attach the curved piece. And this guy, and this guy, and this thing, another curved piece, and a little tulip. Okay, we finished the next one. Yay! Really fun. So, okay, so let's look at the collection together. And then, ooh, also there's a little bug in here. So we're going to attach the bug on this clip. This bug I think I first saw in a friend's set. I'm just going to be angled this way because I can't get it off. But that's the bug print. It's really tiny. If I can get it to focus on my finger. There we go. All right. So we'll attach that one here. All right, so we've got these. And then I'm going to hold the others together too. Whoops. And it makes a nice little bouquet. Yay! I have an important question to ask you. Will you be my girlfriend? Just kidding. I don't need a girlfriend. I've got a husband. That's all I need. All right. Love it. That's fun. That's really cute. Really simple build too. Obviously very quick. I think I did that in about a half-hour time, and that included talking and sharing different elements with y'all. $15 for that one, and 171 pieces. So good parts for different things potentially. You could do an epic battle with some really amazing and fabulous shields with these pinks and magentas. So that's a lot of fun. So I miss you too, Cam. Brick Slope is amazing. I'm glad you're going Saturday and Sunday though, because I've heard that Chicago is crazy busy, but also like 2 full days of going and experiencing it, I think is worth it. Come to Orlando. Yes, it's on my list to someday go for sure. What's also on our short list is Atlanta. Do you ever do Brick Fair Atlanta? Atlanta BrickCon, I think is what it's called. That's on the list too. So yep, I'll be over with a Sylvester cat and gingerbread layout right next to the giant Destiny's Bounty. I want to say it's 6 feet long. Okay, that's really cool. That is a lot of fun. But yeah, this is really cool. This one, it also looks beautiful. I'm gonna just show you the pictures on the box because I don't have the energy to build it right now. But we do get some new parts, so you can see that pink. That is a new part, and you also see it in green on the white one. And then we're getting the leaves, the large leaf piece in white for the first time. We already had it in magenta, I believe. And we're also getting those like see-through little thin leaves in transparent yellow and transparent magenta. I know that we've seen them in transparent green and I think transparent blue. But yeah, these are really pretty builds. I also like that they come with a little bit of water and that they're sitting in these little pots. I'm planning on having these on a little shelf that'll be attached to the wall right next to our Monet build. So really looking forward to seeing it all together. Okay, y'all, I think that's going to wrap up my live stream today. I'm a little sleepy and getting hungry. Need to get dinner ready for us. But thank you all for joining and having so much fun. This was a lot of fun with y'all. And some new faces today, too. If you're new, I'd love it if you would like and subscribe so that we can stay in touch. I go live every Wednesday doing review Lego sets. And also for the next 9 more weeks, I'm going live every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Time to do a rewatch of my season of Lego Masters with my Lego Masters family. So we just did episode 1 on Monday. If you want to catch it, you can watch the live stream replay. It was with me and John, my brick building partner, and then our friends Nick and Kendall, who were 2 good friends that we made from the show as well. And next week, I will be with 2 other good friends that I haven't spoken to in a very long time, Nikki and Britton, who were a team of sisters that were amazing. So can't wait to talk about episode 2 on Monday with them, which was the wedding cake episode where we got to combine teams together. And it's just going to be so much fun. So would love to have you join for that. And yeah, I may do live streams all week next week for Fortnite week to go through the 4 big Fortnite sets that are coming to my door tomorrow, I think. We'll see. So stay tuned. It may be more than just Monday and Wednesday next week. It may also be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I can't wait. All right. Big hugs, y'all. Build kindness. Bye.